All right, counting down. Here we go.
Oh no.
This is live stream starting. We're here. Oh no. Oh no. Here we are. We're on live.
On.
Oh god. Oh god. Hello.
We're all gonna die.
We're gonna die.
Okay.
All right, here we
I
are.
can see yours is going, Chuck. I got it on YouTube pulled up, so I can see yours is going.
Okay, cool.
Cool. Well, that's
See
all
it?
that counts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's the only one that matters. Yeah. We're only glomming on to Chuck anyway. That's the only reason we're doing this.
True.
I mean, that's actually not completely untrue. I'm glomming on to Rob and Chuck because I don't have a following yet. I just started. Oh yeah, Rob and Homies Draw or something like that. So you're on too.
Is it on?
Right.
Okay,
Yep.
I'm on my YouTube. I can't tell if it's going or not. But
Okay.
I can see
Yep.
Chuck. So
Yep, you were live.
all right.
Oh, and look, we already have Mr. D-Man. Hello. Mr. D-Man is here.
All right.
All right. Well, we're all working on Rob's comic today. What have you named it yet, by the way? Besides the
I haven't
penis
decided
sickle?
on a thing. I don't make myself get in a rush for that because I'll just get myself stuck. Like if I don't come up with the name, I can't move forward. I'm like, something will come up later.
Yeah.
So
I've just been calling it D and a J.
Yeah. D and a J. So that's what I call it too. So.
Stay on theme and call it Severed End. So it kind of stays within your
Severed End.
That's hilarious.
Master Zen followed by Severed End.
So like, what's the connection? Well,
Yeah.
pick it up.
That's
Yeah.
the next series.
Let's see. All right. Cool. All right. Yeah, I'm doing Kill Snap myself. Still working on that. What page is this, Chuck, that you got? I don't know if I've seen
This
this
is 8, page 8.
one. Okay. This is before he got his arms chopped. Oh wait, no, his arms are chopped off.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is immediately
That little-
after.
Yeah.
Like that
little-
panel is where the guy's just sitting there looking at his own bloody stumps, going like, "What
Yeah.
the fuck?"
The little bone hole there.
Yeah, the bone hole.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a different sort of show. You know?
Wait, that's not what I meant, but you know.
We've
The
been on
bone
for
hole.
10 seconds, and
I know. Well, we should have known with the green room conversation we had going, you know.
Well, that's like it sounds like the name for a swingers bar.
Yeah.
The bone hole.
Yeah, the bone hole, yeah. Hey honey, you want to go down to the bone hole?
Yeah, you don't have to tell me twice. Like that's why I married you, baby.
Okay.
Wait, I marked this stream as for kids. Was that wrong?
I don't think that was a good choice.
I would say let's just not ever say it.
Yeah. No, I mean, let's see. Mr. D-Man is at the library because of his shitty apartment has no Wi-Fi. Oh, that sucks. But library Wi-Fi is okay.
If you can stand the bums jerking off next to you.
I guess it depends which one you're at. They don't let them in the one. They're just outside at my library.
Oh, excuse me, the unhoused.
Yes.
That's what I should say.
True.
The unhoused bums jerking off next to you.
That actually does happen here. Well, not at the library, but like there's a it's not CVS, it's another convenience store like that closed down. And closed down a couple years ago. And it's right next to a gas station where I get gas. And more than once I've been at the gas station standing there waiting for the gas to fill.
Yeah.
And there's guys standing against the wall in the empty lot of that building doing just that. Furiously jerking it.
All right. Well,
I guess when you got nothing to lose.
Yeah. I mean, I got excited. I got inspired, so I went home.
Like, oh damn.
like, all right.
Yeah.
Hey buddy, hey, hold on. Let me catch up.
Yeah. I mean, when you're in dire straits, but you can still get in the mood, I guess that's good.
Everything is not lost.
Yeah. Anyway,
The spirit of the city is still alive.
yeah. What were we saying right before we popped in that we were going to say for the stream? Now I completely forgot what that was.
I don't know. It went away.
I know we had that conversation. I can't remember what it was.
Do we all have ADHD?
Huh?
I got distracted by the bone hole.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that happens because, get a little lit at the bone hole.
Right. Hey, Jason, have you read this new Transformers series that's out there?
Yeah, I love it, actually.
I just picked up this collection yesterday, and I've read it twice. I didn't think I was going to like it because I'm kind of a little prissy bitch when it comes to Transformers, but it's legit.
Yeah, I'm not way into Transformers either until this. Like, Daniel Warren, I picked it up because of Daniel Warren Johnson, basically. I like his writing and his art. And yeah, he draws the Transformers so cool. And they don't seem all like kind of boring and like blocky. They look like they're fun to draw the way he does it, Kind of like we were talking last week. You're saying, Chuck, it gets kind of boring. You're just kind of ruling lines all day. But
he doesn't use rulers anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think he does.
Like,
he just freehands it.
In the finishing stage, I should say. I would imagine he probably does to lay it out, but
he doesn't even laying it out. He'll do perspective for the backgrounds, but otherwise he just wings it. Because if you watch his, do you ever watch his Friday with D-Dubs streams?
No, I just found his channel, and there's a director's commentary video where he talks about the first issue. I haven't had a chance to get through, but
oh yeah, he'll do
really
every Friday he does a stream called Friday with D-Dubs, and he will either work on a page of something he's working on or a commission or something like that. And he's done a lot of Transformers pieces on there, and he'll rough out almost an entire page on stream, like sometimes completely finished. And he'll do Transformers and stuff or he'll do like a Transformers commission, and it'll look badass, and he just freehands it all. Even his perspective, he kind of just eyeballs. He'll like kind of put in the perspective grid, but he just kind of freehands it. Sometimes if it's real precise, he has one of those old-fashioned perspective tools, the one that has like the 10 little metal prongs that spread out.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know, I've seen them.
Yeah, he uses that a lot. But he'll still usually just do that to get sort of the general dots, the points, and then he'll freehand the lines from there. It's pretty nuts.
What has he done before? Where did he come from? I've never heard the name that I'm aware of before this thing.
Oh, he started doing a webcomic that got really popular out of nowhere. He was just doing it after work while he was working a day job called Space Mullet. It's you can get it it's free online if you search it. His website's still up, but they just released a trade of it too. It's pretty good, and it's his writing's just always been pretty good and sort of heartfelt, I guess. So he got popular from that. But then he did a really good Beta Ray Bill series, which that thing is one of my favorite things from him. It's so cool.
Wow.
He got to basically make up the whole thing himself. So highly recommend that.
What would that be like? They're like, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And it's awesome and it's successful and people love it. And they're like, hey, you want to do Transformers? Do whatever you want.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what's kind of been happening. Like he did that with Beta Ray Bill, and he did a Wonder Woman one that's also really good. It's probably my favorite Wonder Woman comic. I think it's called Hollow Earth. But man, she's like this sort of like savage in the future or something. Like it's really cool. It's not like your typical Wonder Woman. She's like this savage warrior kind of.
This ain't your daddy's Wonder Woman.
Yeah. But yeah, the Transformers is cool. Like you've read it already, so not spoiler alert anyone who's watching, but it's been out for a while. I think the second trade's about to come out, but it's tied into the Energon universe, so G.I. Joe is in it.
So I would have picked it up because there's a subtle little hint at it if you're paying attention right at towards the beginning. But the lady that works the shop at the comic store I went to, she said that it sort of ties into G.I. Joe, so I was kind of looking for it, and I was kind of like, I wish you wouldn't have told me that. I would have liked to have been surprised by that little subtle hint. But his artwork, I was like, the way he shows the machines transforming is like the best I've ever seen it done on like in print ever. He's just got a way of making it work. And I'm like, that's perfect.
Yeah, he just draws that like tech noise so well.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can think of to describe it, because it's not specific. It's kind of like how Mark Silvestri always do, like when he draws debris and tech like that. It's like kind of just nonsensical, but it looks really busy and cool.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I agree.
It's indication of detail rather
than
detail
implied
itself.
detail.
That's right.
Yeah, so he that's one of my favorite things he does. I guess that's probably one of the big appeals for me.
Yeah. I was really surprised. I picked it up based solely on, well, I mean, I heard it was good. So I was curious. But I'm like, I've got a channel. I bet this will be, because I've had people ask for it. I'm like, all right, fine. But it also turns out I really enjoyed it. I wasn't expecting to, because there's every iteration of Transformers is some new alternate universe. There's no one prime universe. There's the cartoon, there's the movies, there's how many different comic series, how many different TV shows, and they're all different. So I'm like, well, here's just another variation on it. But it was really good.
So.
So I'm a believer.
So you're gonna do a video on it then? That's cool.
Yeah. It's awesome. It's gonna be up this week. I get to go in for my little medical procedure this week to get the old rotor-rooter.
Oh, like the age thing.
Colonoscopy.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to get videos done for the entire week, so I don't even have to think about it on the days I'm like doing the prep where you take all the pills and the liquid to go shit yourself to death.
Oh yeah, dude, you should live stream that.
I shall.
Do like a subathon.
I'll just have the camera pointing at the wall. You just hear me go, oh.
Get like a colon cam, and you could do a whole new type of live stream. You know?
Oh man.
Toilet cam.
Yeah, I mean, Twitch streamers do that. They'll stream for like a month straight, and you have to go to the bathroom. I mean, they'll bring the mic in their room and talk while they're on, but they don't bring the video. So
like that's fucking LBJ, dude. Like Lyndon Johnson was supposed to be famous for that. Like he'd invite you into the bathroom while he was going. Because I guess he was really well hung. So he wasn't embarrassed by anybody seeing. So it was just like, come on in and take a look. You know.
Dang.
Hey, if I was really well, I'd be like, please, you want to see it. Don't act like you don't.
He had a nickname for it. He called it Jumbo.
Oh my God. See, that's awesome. That's how you make America great again. You bring in some of that BDE.
There you go.
Big dick energy.
What you need, man. That's what you need. You get Pete Davidson on the cabinet.
I know, right? God damn, man. That dude must be like fucking 14 inches or something.
Well, like, see, like once I heard that, I was like, oh, now I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about that, but I guess that would do it. Sure.
But yeah, I'll definitely be doing a video of that. I haven't recorded it yet. It's like the next in line.
Okay.
Because it's like 6 issues, so I'm trying to like make sure I've got a good handle on the basic story, so I can kind of verbally zip through it quick enough without spending forever on it.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's got, I don't know, his stories have great action, but they also have heart. So,
yeah.
Sometimes that can be really
stuff
cheesy.
Like, I mean, a freaking Transformer Starscream picked up a human and just squished him like a pop him like a pimple, and I was like,
oh yeah,
oh,
that construction
brutal.
yard, man. Yeah.
That's what they would do. That's pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's definitely an angle he took too that I'm not used to seeing, you know, like showing how fragile and helpless humans are to them, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Like instead of just saying it, you just see it.
Yeah.
Squish.
Yeah.
It literally, like, it's one of my favorite panels in this book. Let me find it. Because Starscream's just like, what's this? He's like, oh. All right.
Can you say that with the Starscream voice?
Yeah. Right. Like right here's that shot of
yes.
Starscream, and it just says squish in sound effects, and he's just having a great time. I'm like, oh,
great.
Yeah, the panel right above it with the guy screaming is great.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
What I've been looking forward to is G.I. Joe, man. I heard a good review about that like yesterday or today.
Of the regular series? Yeah, I got the first issue. It's good.
Wes was talking about it on Thinking Critical. It's got one of my favorite, more recent artists, Chris Mooneyham, doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the art's
guy
great.
draws like Klaus Janson.
Yeah, it's very clean, too. Yeah, I liked it. It's I've only gotten, I don't know if there's more issues. I've only read the first issue of it so far, and they also did a Cobra Commander sort of origin trade last year that I got. Cool. It's sort of a precursor to that, and it was pretty good too.
Well, I guess they've had a couple series. One of them is Paul Pelletier doing the artwork, and then the other one is Chris Mooneyham. So I guess they're doing story arcs and just hiring a different artist for each story arc.
Okay. Because that makes sense. That's kind of what they're doing with Transformers. Because Transformers, I think Daniel Warren Johnson did the first 6 issues.
I saw that he's not drawing the next batch, which I was kind of disappointed to hear.
Yeah, he's still writing it though, and I actually really like the artist drawing the second batch. So normally I'd be like, oh damn it, but I actually like the art quite a bit. I forget the guy's name off the top of my head though.
You're like, he's really great. I don't know who he is.
Yeah. I'll pick up the book and tell you. Actually, did the first trade just come out for that? I might have just picked it up. I just haven't read it yet. Let's see real quick.
Speaking of Klaus Janson, I'm trying to get very Janson-y.
Janson-y, that's the new stuff.
That's right.
Janson-y with this stuff?
Yeah.
What'd you think of that black and white Klaus book that's coming out?
I think it's overpriced.
How much was it? I don't remember.
Well, look, it's like $35, but by the time they send it to you from Europe, it's going to cost you $50.
Oh, that's true. It's a European thing, huh?
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't know. I don't think it's going to have enough in it that I'm really interested in to make it worth the expenditure.
Do you remember how many pages it was? I only kind of looked at it on my phone.
I want to say it was just over 200, so it was a good page count. I mean, it's not like...
Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed like it was worth the money, but I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I got to kind of hold out at this point. I get dirty looks when I buy books. So,
yeah, well, I'm running out of space.
My wife's looking at me like, really? Another fucking book?
I get it too, because I'm running out of space too.
Same thing, man. So
I've gotten the new trade, but I guess not. Maybe it's pre-ordered for the new Transformers trade.
But yeah, there's stuff coming out that I want to get. There's an omnibus coming out in February of Ann Nocenti and John Romita Jr.'s Daredevil stuff. And I want to get that. I was going to get the X-Force, but then I realized, there's really only like 13 issues or so, 12, 13 issues that I give a shit about in that book. And
the artist edition, you mean?
The omnibus of X-Force.
Oh, I didn't even know that was coming out. Okay.
Yeah, it's already out. Out. But again, you only got like, they're reprinting like 30 some odd issues, and there's only less than half of that I really care about. And
I think I'd be more interested in the pre-X-Force stuff when it was New Mutants, because you got all that. I mean, you have the early Rob stuff, which I liked, and then you have that Sienkiewicz stuff in it. That'd be kind of cool.
No, that stuff might be available too. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it might be in an omnibus already.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
If not, then it's in an Epic collection or something like that.
Yeah, I guess I don't have it yet. Looking for it stack here, but I'm eager for it though. One more check. Let's see. Thought I had the GI Joe here too. I was gonna look up that, but yeah. Let's see. Who's writing the GI Joe one? Chuck, do you remember?
Larry Hama.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. He's coming back. I didn't realize he was writing it. Yeah. Josh Williamson wrote the Cobra Commander one, which I thought was pretty good. Andrea Milano was the artist, which I kind of dug the art, actually. I don't know the artist that well, but it's pretty cool. All right. Let's see. Back to draw. No looking at books. Draw.
Draw, sir. Draw.
You're on camera. Actually, I'm going to go back. We need some music going, though. Could you guys sort of want to do a sing-along?
Do a what?
A sing-along. Oh, the three
sing-along? No, not really.
Chuck's like, I'm just going to be real with you. No, go fuck yourself. I'm
just kidding. You're supposed to call my bluff on that because I don't want to do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, damn, don't be so agreeable. Yeah. Say no.
Larry Hama is the goat.
Well, you get enough drinks in me, and I'd probably sing along.
Oh, hell yeah.
Wouldn't be any good.
Well, I'll just give you more drinks so you'll stop. Because I'm not a big fan of karaoke or any of that stuff, honestly. Work on this. I'm gonna work on the hand and heart, his splatting heart. I don't know whose heart it is, but it goes along with the severed penis, I guess.
Just cutting off all kinds of stuff over here.
Yeah. It's from mine's from his heyday, a flashback to when he cut other things out before he got his stuff cut off.
Have you guys been looking at Instagram today?
Not today, really.
Dan Goodwin's been showing off pages he's been getting at that convention. He's got a couple of Sam Keiths that looked way cool.
Yeah. That man's got some money to spend.
I guess. I was like, oh, shit, I should have charged Dan more money, I guess.
Oh, did he buy some pages too? Or did he get a commission?
He bought that pit piece that I was inking when we were live streaming, when I was live streaming a few weeks back. But yeah, he bought that pit piece, but I'm like, geez, got money for Sam Keith pages. I should have charged him more.
Yeah, he's been posting a lot of pages he got. I was like, holy crap, man, he's a collector.
Yeah.
Hey, good for him. Good for him.
Yeah.
Enjoy your money. You don't get to take it. So
this is the moment where he should show up and chat. But he's
there you go.
Blowing it.
Like, what the fuck, guys?
That's it.
Yeah.
Like talking shit about me? What the hell?
Yeah.
Well, he bought 6 pages off me last summer.
Oh wow.
And I don't know what to ever ask, because I'm like, my shit ain't worth anything. And Chuck, you've kind of given me some advice on how do I go about, here's what you should do. This is what you should, and I've taken that to heart. But at the time, I was like, he wanted 5 pages. I was like, how about $50 a page? And he laughs at me. He's like, how about I pay you $600 for all 5?
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Nice.
And I was like, "Are you sure?" I was like trying to talk him out of it, and I was like, "We're negotiating in reverse, aren't we?" And he's laughing. I was like, and so that's what bought me my scanner. Half of that money. So now I have a scanner on site, and then I bought that Jim Lee art book, and then the McFarlane one, and the John Byrne artist edition. That's what funded all of those. So I was like,
"Oh, nice."
All right. Well, he's a good guy, and
yeah, it's cool that he's honest like that too, and like
he
cool
is.
about it.
Yeah, he's a good, an honest guy. I support the heck out of him.
Well, and I was fair too. Like I based mine the pit piece that I sold him was based upon the price that Brett was charging, like back when he did it. And I'm like, okay, it's a blue line, and Brett wanted like, you know, this amount for his. This is a little smaller, and it's blue line, so he's never touched it. But you know, it's years later, so you know, and we struck a deal.
Yeah.
But I tried to play reasonable with him too. You basically, you know, I don't want to scare anybody off. I don't, you know.
Right. Have somebody be like, "Oh, okay, I'll let you know." I'm like, "Oh, that's a no."
Yeah.
well, and that shit gets around too. Like you know, like the next thing you know, you'll be hearing stuff like, "Oh, I was gonna approach you about buying a page, but then somebody told me you charged an arm and a leg." You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think your shit's that good? I'm like, well, I mean, I don't know, maybe.
well, look, man. I can tell you later on in your career, as you've done pages and everything else, you'll wind up selling stuff, and then you'll look back and you go, oh, "Man, I really wish I hadn't sold that."
Yeah.
Like if I had it to do all over again, I wouldn't have sold any of my Brett Booth pages at all.
Yeah.
I really wish I hadn't sold any of that.
Just depends on circumstances too. Sometimes you just need the money, or you got a family and all that crap.
Well, and you're kind of thinking to yourself too. There's going to be more, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then what you find out later is you don't really know when that faucet's going to shut off. You know, at some point or another, almost all pros kind of get put on ice. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't really know when that's going to happen. You just sort of working month in, month out, and you don't know. And then all of a sudden, one day they're not calling you anymore, or that in combination with like what it did with me. I got tired of, like, man, it seemed like the whole thing had gone to this point where every single month I'm having to put together sample package like some brand new, fresh off the boat rookie. You know, I got a decade in this damn game. When do I stop having to submit? You know, when do I stop auditioning? You know,
Right.
you know.
Yeah, it can be frustrating because I mean, yeah, that's how it should be. I mean, like, you know, this isn't comics, but like, you know, I work in like movies and animation and stuff, and I always have a reel I'll update every couple of years, but ever since my first job that I used it for, I'll always send in a reel, but they don't look at it anymore.
Right.
They just kind of go off word of mouth now. And
right. They just know who you are, and they talk to people, and they go, okay, well, he's good to work with, and that's how you get the gig.
Yeah, or like how usually, I mean, it's a little different for the interview process because you don't really interview for comics so much, but yeah, like a lot of time they'll just look at what you did too, and then you'll come in for the interview and they'll sort of quiz you on it to make sure you're not full of shit, that you actually know how to do it, you know? And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, he's not lying. So yeah, let's bring him in. He's cool. And to make sure your personality clicks too. But yeah, it should be, I mean, I don't know. I guess it varies with comics. Some people get that and some people don't. But yeah, if you've got 10 years of experience, you shouldn't have to be you should just be able to send a list like, hey, you know me, I worked on these, you know, if you got work, let me know. So, like, I'm not looking for a you know, to do the convention portfolio review line thing anymore.
No. Yeah, you're like, I'm really done with that.
Yeah.
Of course, now at this stage of the game, I'm sort of like, you know, I've come back, so I don't know, you know, and I'm coming back in a digital format, and so I'm kind of interested in people's opinions again.
Yeah.
You know, I don't feel as tried and true with this.
I think one difference is though too is like, you know, age and experience and like your kind of station in life currently, you're not sort of as desperate, so you can kind of
yeah, that helps.
Yeah.
That helps a lot when you're not living quite so hand to mouth and the wolves aren't at the door quite so hardcore.
Yeah, it's like, if you still aren't on like an A-list artist or something, you can't like, you gotta like do some things you might not want to do, I guess, but you don't have to like just desperately take any little thing and get just treated like shit by everybody you work with. You can kind of pick and choose, or you have the freedom to leave that if you don't like it, I guess, which is a big thing.
Well, at this point, that's the ground rules. If I'm not digging it, if I'm not having fun, if I'm just doing it for the money, I'm out.
Yep. Oh, someone's saying's here. What's new, ladies and gents? What's up?
You taught Terry
Taught
Terry Austin everything he knows.
Yeah. There you go. I knew it. Shocula. He told me that at a convention one time. When Terry Austin and I were broing it up, having drinks together, he told me.
I called him once.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I called him once. This was like 94, 95, something like that. You're always in the office, and since I'm getting photocopies, I'm also getting leftover FedEx boxes because those are just the right size to store the photocopies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so inevitably in the boxes, they have boxes over there getting ready to throw them away that artists have thrown in, because at this point it's still all analog stuff. Everything gets shipped FedEx, so there's plenty of boxes around.
Yeah.
Well, I would just grab up a couple boxes and stick them in the car and drive them home. And like, okay, I got some more storage boxes for copies, this and that. I really didn't pay too much attention to it until I like looked at one of the boxes, and the inside was the invoice, right, from the artist. And it was a box from Terry Austin, and it had his phone number on it.
Oh.
So yeah, I called him and I chit-chatted with him for about an hour.
Oh, that's cool. So he was receptive
30
to
minutes
it.
to an hour. He was real cool about it. He was actually real cool about it. He said that he had a similar experience where he was tempted to call Alex Toth, but he was afraid that Toth would yell at him. And I said he probably would have. From what I hear, he probably would have.
Oh, was Toth kind of grumpy?
Toth was.
Yeah.
From what I heard, man, he's kind of a tough character to get along with.
Yeah. That's all I've ever heard about the guy, is that he was a real ball buster.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah. Okay. And you think some of these guys like will pick you apart? Like, he's in that Neil Adams, Howard Chaykin school of look, man, I'm gonna give you a sample of how bad they can rough you up when you get into this.
Yeah.
Because clients will. That's the thing, is people take their portfolios up to these guys and they go, oh, I took my portfolio up to this guy and he reviewed it. And he was a total jerk. He like beat me up and everything else. And I'm like, yeah, dude, that's nothing compared to what a client will tell you. Yeah. Because a client isn't a fellow artist. Okay. They don't know how it feels to do this stuff. They're just a consumer. Okay. So if such and such character looks stupid to them, they're not afraid to tell you right to your face, this character's face looks stupid, or like, oh, this looks jerked over there. Like, oh, this guy looks like, he might be a little light in the loafers. I wanted to be like very manly, or they're not afraid to tell you.
Yeah.
So it just depends upon who it is you're talking to and what it is. And I really think in a way that those guys were good in the sense that they're not going to stroke you, man. They're going to slap you one, and you better get used to it because it happens a lot.
Yeah. Even without getting yelled at, you just got to learn to have the confidence in your own stuff and kind of know what direction. Because a lot of time they won't even give the time of like tearing you a new one or telling you it sucks. They'll just like cut you off, almost like ghost you because they don't like it and you don't even know why.
Yeah.
You gotta, you might know why, but you don't get to ask them about it or plead or negotiate like, oh, I'll do it better next time. You just gotta know that like, well, I will do it. I have the ability to focus and get better and do it better next time, or avoid that from happening again.
Well, and a lot of times too, dude, is they just get tired of telling people the same stuff. I do that with inking.
Oh yeah, especially in comics for sure.
You know, people ask me for inking advice all the time, and they're always missing the same stuff. Like, look, man, your stuff is flat. You got no variation in line weight going on. Everybody takes that like they're so busy looking at the pretty rendering lines that they're not looking at the outside contours of that figure. They're not looking at those holding lines and seeing like what thickness makes this do what.
Yeah.
Which to me, that's like, gee, if you take away the color and you don't know how to do that, it's flat as a dime, man. It looks like shit.
Yeah. And plus, you got to know how to take the critique and criticism to and improve, because like that's another thing. Like the client will be more cold about how they present it, but it might not actually be being mean either. That's just how they are. It's business, you know, and you got to be able to take that and use it, you know, like I don't critique a lot of comic stuff, obviously, because I'm not a known comic artist, but I get a lot of people that send me their reels and stuff to like ask about their cinematography and their animation and stuff. And most of the time people are cool, but I don't, you know, every like 10 people, there'll be one person that does what I used to see people do in comics all the time when I'd be waiting in those portfolio review lines. They get their critique and then they start making excuses, like trying to explain it and like
Right.
justifying it instead of just being like, oh, you're right. Oh, you know what you're talking about. So I'm going to work on that. Or, you know, or maybe ask legitimate questions on, you know, like, well, I made this decision because of this. So like, how should I think about it? Instead of like, well, I wanted to do, you know, it's hard. I'm trying to think of a specific example, but you know what I mean, where people will, they'll just sort of argue it with you. Like they're right and you shouldn't be critiquing it. It's like, well, why
Right.
did you
Like
even
they're going to
ask
argue.
me?
Like they're going to argue their way into a gig or something.
Yeah. And it's like, if you don't want, you know, a critique, then why did you even ask or show it to me, you know? But yeah, I think it's the same thing. Yeah, they're not wanting a critique. They just want you to like look at it and marvel over it and offer a gig straight out, you know. They don't want to be told it's not quite good enough yet.
Well, that's what everybody would like to see happen, sure. You know, I mean,
Of
you're not
course.
standing in this line to like, oh, I didn't really want a gig anyway. I just wanted to see what you'd say.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you know. So, but yeah, I mean, I get it. People get you know, they got a lot of invested emotionally in this stuff and everything else. But at the end of the day, man, you got to look at it. Well, Jason, you know this, especially like working around Hollywood and stuff like that, dude. These guys are all business, okay?
Oh
And
yeah.
the fact if you're like, dude, if you're if you're a brunette and you look like oh, what was that bitch from the fucking 1940s? Oh God, why am I'm
Betty
blanking.
Page.
Betty
Betty Page.
Page. That was
Yeah.
Betty
it.
Page.
That was
Yeah.
it. If you look like Betty Page and they're looking for a Lindsay Lohan type,
Yeah.
then it doesn't really matter what you do. You're
Yep.
shit out of luck, right? From the get go, and that's all there is to it. Like, yeah, if you run into an editor and he prefers cartoony or non-realistic styles or stuff that's very kind of abstractish, you know, like using a lot of dry brushy kind of high contrast effects, and you come at them with 90s rendering and trying to make it look like Jim Lee. Well, I'm not looking for Jim Lee. I'm looking for Humberto Ramos.
Yep.
I'm looking for Mike Waringo, you know,
Hmm.
and that's who they want. You're just the wrong guy for the job. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
like they're not looking to find someone who can talk them into wanting something they
right,
don't already have in their head. They're just looking for what they
right.
want.
They
So
have something in mind, you
yeah,
know.
if you're not right for it, then you know, accept it and move on to the next gig. Don't try to argue it and force it. You know?
It absolutely won't work anyway. And you wouldn't,
Yeah.
honestly, if you got the gig that way, if you had to argue your way into it, guaranteed they're going to treat you like shit the whole time. If you did
Oh
manage
yeah.
somehow to talk them into it, you're going to be
Yep.
hanging by a thread the whole time. And like man, you're on thin ice over here. And
Yeah.
who wants to work like that, man?
It's true.
Speaking of Jim Lee, and one of my favorite covers, somebody put on my channel that the original artwork for this thing right here sold like 2 years ago for $100,000.
Holy crud!
That's not surprising to me.
Oh no, not considering the amount of money that he can command on the original art aftermarket. It's insane.
Well, you know that Uncanny X-Men cover with Captain America and Black Widow and Wolverine, that first issue of his continuous run.
Yeah.
That one went for over $500,000 just a few years ago.
Wow. Jeez. That makes sense. That's my favorite cover by him, I think.
Oh yeah.
At least one of them.
I felt bad though, because like Scott Williams used to own that cover, and like they thought that they'd made a big score back in the 90s. Like it was right around the time that I got there, in fact, and they were all happy. You know, like Scott Williams was all happy with himself, and it was like kind of the talk around the studio that, you know, that Scott Williams had sold this cover for like 1,000 or 1,500 or something, which at the time was like holy shit, awesome prices for original art. But then 30 years later, now it's $500,000 piece.
Yeah,
I would be so pissed. Didn't you tell me you actually held the original to that once, Chuck?
I believe that is one of the ones that I have a photocopy to. Maybe it's a copy of a copy. I'm not certain, but there are some of those pages out of that Jim Lee book that I have held in my hands. That I did hold the actual page and look at it and make a photocopy.
So cool. That's so cool,
man.
You know, like the other stuff too that you wouldn't expect to see in there that Scott Williams had in his piles. He had a bunch of pages from those Punisher issues they did with Eric Larson and with Wills.
Oh, dude. Oh my God. I have the Will stuff open on my desk right now as we speak.
Yeah.
The Essential Edition.
Yeah, I've got that one too. Yeah, if you've seen that, that's the thing about those Essentials. Most of those reproduced pretty well. So
yeah, I love them, and that's the stuff that got me into comics, and then I pretty much learned to draw from is that Scott Williams Punisher stuff. I mean, nothing will ever be better than that for me.
I enjoy that stuff quite a bit too.
Yeah. I did recently. I got the other Punisher Essentials so that I could get some of that Eric Larson stuff too. I didn't actually like Eric Larson's work on it at the time, but now going back, I actually really love it.
I like Eric's stuff on that Punisher fairly well. I like Scott's stuff better. You know.
Yeah, it was such a big contrast from Wilson, like Jim Lee on Punisher War Journal when he jumped on. I was just like, oh, I don't like it. You know, I think it's the same thing as maybe you talked about this in your video, Rob, talking about how like when you're younger hated Walt Simonson, or not Walt Simonson, sorry, the Hellboy guy,
Mignola.
Yeah, like a lot of people hated his stuff earlier on, but then they learned to appreciate how amazing it is later on.
Yeah.
You know? Is it Walt Simon that said he has all of his original Thor stuff, or am I thinking of someone else?
Walt Simonson does not. Yeah, Simonson doesn't sell pages at all. So
yeah, that's why he has the most essential editions too. Like he has all his Alien stuff he did. He has all the Thor stuff. Him and Eric Larson, I don't think ever sell anything.
I understand Larson will trade you now if you have something he likes.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Like he traded one of his Savage Dragon issues for a Jack Kirby issue.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've heard he'll do that. He likes to keep it together as an issue, though. Yeah.
Yeah. He said famously that he wouldn't sell any of his Dragon stuff, but on the last Cartoons Kayfabe interview with him, they said, we understand you don't sell Dragon stuff. And he's like, I used to not, but then he's like, it's piling up. I'm getting old. My kids don't give a fuck. So when I die, he's like, I'd rather some of it be in the hands of people who appreciate it. So he started to part with some of it.
Yeah.
Which I think that's a reasonable, like, well, why not? Let's make some money.
I would love to just visit his office and just see those stacks of 200 issues of Savage Dragon pages just stacked everywhere.
Oh geez, I just picked up the most recent one. It's let's see.
What the Savage Dragon
is the most recent one.
Oh yeah. Yeah. God damn.
It's a 100-page issue for $10.
Oh man, yeah. I remember him posting about that. He was trying to choose between 3 covers, and that was the one he chose. Speaking of Eric Larson, I had an extra McFarlane Spider-Man artist edition I'd gotten, and I'm gonna actually trade that at my comic shop for. Well, he offered to trade it for another artist edition of some sort, which I hadn't picked one yet, but I think I'm gonna get the Eric Larson one trade.
Well, yeah, why not? If you got an extra one of the one, why not trade it up for?
I've been tempted to get one. They've got them over on maybe I shouldn't say.
Yeah,
they have them for half price at a site that I've dealt with before.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's
somebody tell me off camera because I
like $75 they're letting them go. So I was like, I kind of like, well, at that price, maybe I'll get one, you know?
Yeah, maybe I'll go get a cheaper one there too, and maybe I'll save the trade for like the Liefeld one coming out, like a newer one, you know? Because the Spider-Man's worth a little bit. The McFarlane Spider-Man one is worth probably like $150. So
I'm sort of on the fence with the Liefeld one. I don't know if I'm going to get that one or not.
Yeah.
I thought you said you'd already prepaid for it on that.
No, they have it for prepay. I was thinking about it, but
okay.
Yeah. I prepaid for it on Amazon myself. So
yeah, that's what you're thinking of, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just like I'm not as into it. Oh yeah, Count Chocula wants the Paul Smith one. Yeah, I was tempted for that. I saw it in the comic store too, but Paul Smith wasn't quite strong enough to like, because I have to be really picky with my artist editions now too, because they're too hard to look at and I don't have room. So
that's where I'm at with it too. I'm just like, man, these things are too big.
Like I enjoy reading Paul Smith, but I don't like draw like him or like feed off his art, you know, for my own stuff, which is partly what I'll get the artist editions for. Like Eric Larson, I'll just stare at those inks all day, you know, especially on that early Savage Dragon stuff.
Yeah.
So
he did do a good job on that first series.
Eric Larson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that first Savage Dragon miniseries and that Sinister Six run that he did on Spider-Man, that's my favorite Larson stuff.
Yeah, that Spider-Man stuff is great too. That would be a cool one to have an artist edition for. Or
yeah.
I want artisan editions though. I can fit those.
Which actually is kind of a big contrast because it was just a few, I don't know, several years ago, I actually quit buying a book because Larson took over doing art.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when he took over, they had Steve Lytle, the guy that did those classic X-Men covers that Rob likes so much.
Yeah.
They had Steve Lytle, and he was doing Doom Patrol over at DC. And I don't know what happened. They stopped having Steve Lytle, and then instead they like stuck in Eric Larson, and the contrast in art styles was just too much.
Yeah,
like, fuck this, man.
I think it's good that Larson just went on his own anyway, because I think that's what happened a lot. He would get thrown on a book, and it would just be such a polar opposite of the artist that was on it before him that it was just shocking. Because like I liked his stuff, but the same thing happened with Spider-Man. I don't remember who was doing it before him. Was it McFarlane? Oh yeah, see, so you went from Wills to Eric Larson, and then you went from McFarlane to Eric Larson. And both times it's kind of like, oh god, this sucks. But then I look back and I'm like, this was freaking awesome. I love this.
Yeah, it's not that the work was bad; it just looked bad by comparison.
Yeah, so some artists just don't fit the books. Yeah, I mean, I actually don't think that was the case with Larson though. Too, I think he fit the books. It was just, you know, he didn't fit right after that artist. You know, so, like if they had launched a different series or something separate, maybe it would have worked better.
You know what I was shocked is Larson said in an interview, I think that one with the kayfabe guys, when he took over Spider-Man after McFarlane, and he was told it's going to be a hard gig to follow McFarlane, and he's like, yeah, I know, but I'm going to do it. And he said sales actually went up.
Oh wow.
He said that, and I don't think he'd be making that up at all. I mean,
yeah. Well, with the Spider-Man stuff, I definitely learned to like that stuff while he was on it. The Punisher stuff, I was just turned off, and I just ignored it at the time until later. But the Spider-Man stuff, I did end up buying that stuff. I was into it after it. I adjusted to it mentally. And he had more time on it too, I think. How long was his run on that?
Which one?
Spider-Man. On Spider-Man.
After McFarlane?
Yeah.
It was.
He was on it for a while, wasn't he?
It was just the one run.
Maybe I'm just remembering wrong.
I want to say it's a 6-part. It might have been an 8-part because they split an issue because his house burned down.
Well, look.
Oh, is that when it happened? Holy crap!
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though, is he also did Amazing for quite a few issues before that.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, he was on Amazing Spider-Man for a long time.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, I was like, wait, it was only 6 issues he ever did a Spider-Man, but yeah, okay, now I'm not crazy.
Yeah, because there's an omnibus that's out of Michelini and Larson's Spider-Man run.
Oh man, I might have to get that too.
I've been thinking about getting that.
Yeah.
Cheapgraphicnovels.com. They got it for $59.
Yeah, book Chuck, the Eric Larson one.
I see. I didn't say though that was the one you
Oh
spoiled.
shoot! No. I was saying that's not the one. You said that's not the place, right? That's what.
Yeah. Nice save, man.
Yeah. Actually, if you guys, I'll be back in 2 seconds. It's getting dark in this room, and I need my phone to turn on the lights. It's like you turn them on through the Wi-Fi. 1 sec, I'll be right back.
Okay. We'll all listen intently to your activity.
Right.
Okay. I think that panel's done.
Nice. Yeah, what's funny is I was going to say, I did send that page to you, but then I looked at it and realized I hadn't finished the second panel where he's stabbing him in the dick up against the wall. I was going to scan. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't finish this. Son of a. Okay. So I sat down and kind of rushed through it a little bit. If it's a little rough, I assume you can kind of interpret it just fine.
That's okay.
You're like, all right, Rob. And then that big face shot, I was just kind of like just channeling like McFarlane's Wolverine on that Spider-Man run. Just this big close-up of his face and tried to make him look insane with rage. I don't know. I'm just screwing around with some expressions on that page, trying to give it a little bit of sense of humor.
Yeah, I'm liking that. I'm keeping some more of
that. I'm looking at that. It looks awesome. It's just, that guy, that character. I'm kind of liking that character the more I kind of think about him. So
you always do that, man. You like fall for these characters right when you kill them off.
I do. I'm like, this was a cool guy.
Like, man, I shouldn't have killed that guy.
Son of a bitch. It'd be easy enough to create some comic book world bullshit resurrection.
Yeah, it's comics. You can always bring them back, man.
Yep. That's funny because I recorded a video today for. Trying to find it. I got it sitting right here. Where the fuck is it? Oh yeah. The Death of Wolverine.
Right.
Did you ever read that one?
No, because I knew he wasn't gonna actually die.
Right. I talk about that. So he does, quote unquote, die, but he's back. I don't know how long it was, not too long. But that was one of the reasons I avoided it. I'm like, you're not gonna Wolverine's not dying. Shut up.
Like whatever. Man.
But then years later, I was like, all right, there's a collection. All right, let's just get it. And it's a well-told story, but I was like, he's not dying. You guys are. Oh wow.
No, he died. It's just dreams now.
Yeah, he's never come back.
No, the only one that's died and has not come back that I'm aware of is Captain Marvel, the original Captain Marvel, the dude.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
They did the Death of Captain Marvel as the very first Marvel graphic novel, and this would have been like back like 82, 83 or something crazy, or maybe even earlier than that. I don't even know. But yeah, they've never brought that character back, and that character had a fairly decent degree of popularity before that.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think I ever read them. Oh, we got Jeffrey Bites and Greg Lankard here now too.
Right.
I can't see any chats on my comment. They must be all commenting on like yours or something, because it's not coming through on mine. But
there might be a comments tab you got to go to in the same. But
I can click on it, but it doesn't show anything. Wait, I'm on chat comments. There it is. Fuck, I'm stupid.
Yeah, it should be showing all of them, I think, and then I can just like click one to put it on screen so that everyone on the screen.
No, I got it. I'm just dumb. I like to demonstrate it publicly, but I'm stupid.
I like that it'll feed in even when you guys co-stream from your channel. It'll feed that into this one so we can see all of them.
Yeah.
Oh,
but so you say that Captain Marvel's the only character that's died and stayed dead. It used to be Gwen Stacy and Bucky, but they certainly dug those corpses up.
Yeah. I do like what they did with Bucky, though. Well, at least in the movies, but they kind of play that into the comics, too.
Yeah, that's fair. I didn't mind that. I was surprised.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody else that I can think of, I mean, it was even like a running joke in the X-Men for a long time, like, he'll get better, So-and-so died, but he'll get better,
I guess they just decided to own it recently, because I didn't really... What was that run they did recently where the X-Men just had their own planet and like House of M and stuff?
Oh, I don't know.
I forget what they called that world. Well, I didn't like it, but like it was like the sanctuary for all the X-Men, and they could basically resurrect you there too, so no one would ever die.
Oh, my brother was telling me about that. He's trying to explain to me because he thought it was pretty cool. I'm like, that sounds stupid, but
yeah,
to
people
be fair,
rave
I haven't
about
read
it,
so I don't know.
I thought it was terrible. It's freaking boring. It's way too wordy. There's nothing going on. And like even they launched a new X-Men series during that era, the Krakoa era. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And I tried to jump in from issue 1, and I had they didn't explain anything. It was confusing, and it was just a bunch of people standing around talking. And I bailed after like 2 issues.
That is, dude, I am so tired of seeing books where they do nothing except stand around with their thumb up their ass for 22 pages.
I mean, you've heard my rant about the Ultimate Spider-Man. Freaking 33 pages of standing around talking.
Yeah. Like, dude, can you draw more headshots? Like, we've covered all the characters' heads from every single angle. It's like a fucking anatomy book.
Yeah. Like, not to go too much into it again, but yeah, like the Ultimate Spider-Man one, like it's a trade, so it was probably stretched over 2 issues, which is even worse if you buy it real time. But it has Mary Jane and Peter in a bar talking to Harry Osborn and his wife for like 7 or 8 pages. And then they go to the Daily Bugle, which has J. Jonah Jameson and Uncle Ben, who run it together. They have conversation for like 7 or 8 pages. And then they go back to a sidebar with Mary Jane and Gwen Stacy, who's married to Hazy, them talking some more. And then there's a sidebar with just Peter and Harry talking. And that's just talking heads. And then they cut to walking on the street outside afterwards with Peter and Mary Jane talking about it. And then they go back to later with Harry at a party talking on the phone with other people doing it. I mean, and then they show the Kingpin talking to Harry. And still all this time, there's no like cutaways to like action or costumes or anything going on. It's just straight talking. It's unbelievable, man. And I was reading it. I was like, what the hell is going on here? And I like started counting it. Even before that, they had Harry and Peter run into each other in their costumes, like Harry's Green Goblin. And they run into each other, and there's like a slight fight for a couple pages, but then there's 4 pages of just them standing on a rooftop talking. 5 pages of it. Then before they cut to the next 33 pages of talking. It's ridiculous.
You know why that is, that they have to do that, right?
Pad it out for the trade?
Well, look, besides padding it out for the trade, besides writing for the idea of like a film adaptation of some sort, and like I've heard of that too, like okay, we'll do this so that if we were to shoot this as a show, it would be cheap on the budget because they're just like in one location. It's just the two of them talking, and that's all they're doing.
Oh yeah.
Okay. There's no special effects. We don't have to change scenery, which means you don't have to break set and move everybody and all that shit. So you literally have people like trying to think of the TV adaptation when they're writing the comics. That's part of the problem right there.
Yeah.
But then the rest of the problem is they took away the thought balloons back in the Image era, and they've never brought them back. And most of these guys can't write without the thought balloons. Without the thought balloons, you have to do everything in speech, as every bit of exposition that you need to do for the reader to follow along, somebody has to say it out loud or they don't know.
Yep. We've got someone from Uruguay here, Silvio Texera. What's up?
Hey,
yeah.
Silvio Texera.
I'm going to show you something too real quick. I'm going to go full screen real quick. I don't know if you guys can see this on your phones, but I mean, you're totally right, Chuck, and it's just ridiculous. And this is actually less wordy, just still boring though. But some of them, it'll have like so much talking, it drives you nuts. But look at this. This is from the Spider-Man. If you can see this, 11 page. There's 11 pages in a row of this, of just these panels, 9 panels a page, like this.
Jeez,
it's like the fucking Watchmen, dude.
Yeah. There was more action even in that. Like, here we go. I just turned 6 pages later. Still, it's still going.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's okay because afterwards it really gets exciting because then the dinner's over and then we have Peter talking with Mary Jane walking on the street. There we go. Way more exciting, huh?
Okay.
Yeah.
So we break the grid to get in some establishing shots.
Yeah. But then it gets really exciting because because then we have Gwen Stacy and Harry talking to a lawyer for 2 or 3 pages. You know.
Dude, what is that thing on the wall behind you? That musical instrument?
Wait, that thing?
That one, yeah.
Oh, it's a cigar box guitar that my dad had made for me. It's awesome.
Oh my god, I want to play that so bad.
Yeah, hang on one sec. Yeah, this guy that lived across the street from my dad makes them custom made for like big musicians and stuff, and he had one made. But yeah, it's from an authentic cigar box. It's 3 strings.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's one of a kind too.
Play us the tune.
Really good quality.
Give us a few strums.
There we go. See?
Nice.
There you go.
Well, the unique thing about cigar box guitars though too is like the strings are a lot farther apart, and the way they're tuned is it actually tends to sound best playing it with a slide.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You should try that with a slide.
Yeah, I do play it with a slide. I haven't tuned it in a while, so it's like way out of tune, and I don't know where the slide is off the top of my hand. I'm rusty, so I'm not going to play live on stream out of nowhere.
Okay. Well, that's good.
No balls.
Yeah, next time, let me practice.
Yeah, I've heard you play before. I'm not sure it'll help.
Hey, all right, you're banned. You're banned from the stream. Remove. Where's the remove button? Hey, you saw the sword I got from Blizzard. Don't make me pull that out, bro.
That was really cool. That was really cool, man.
Yeah, that thing's awesome. Actually, here, hang on. All right, I'm gonna do a little show and tell too. Oh, someone's saying, yeah, those pages of Meter and MJ had titled panels, though. You know, exciting. Exactly. So it's redeemed. Tilted panels. Sorry, not titled. Yeah, I knew what you meant reading it, but yeah.
Chitlid. They're chitlid.
Yeah, pitted. Kitty.
They're led by tits.
Yeah.
Chitlid.
So yeah, you guys kind of saw it, but I'm gonna do a little show and tell here. Let me go full screen again. we go. All right, so if you work at Blizzard Entertainment that makes World of Warcraft and Overwatch and stuff, after 5 years of service, they give you this. There we go. See that?
That's ridiculously awesome.
So, well, yeah, it looks really sweet.
It's a legit sword too. I mean, it's freaking heavy. Like if you're swinging it around, your forearms get tired.
So it's metal. It's not plastic garbage.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, other than the fact that it's not like sharpened sharp, because
sure,
it is a real sword. It's cool. Very high quality, well made and stuff. So
it looks cool.
This is a real diamond that's imbued with the power of Grayskull.
Nice.
Right on. Yeah. Does it give you sight beyond sight?
It does. See here. Sight beyond sight.
That's what I was thinking about. Yeah.
Thundercats. Oh, I'm combining all the 80s cartoons now.
Don't say that, man. That's sexist.
Yeah. Why? What?
The Thundercat ho?
It's offensive slut.
Yeah, but I mean, Lionel was a total hoe. How do you think he supported the team? After he defeated Mummy.
I saw in your drawing what he was doing with Panthro.
That's right. That's right. He looked like he was behind him, mounting him in an inappropriate manner.
A little bit.
Didn't I hear you say that after a couple more years you get a shield and a helmet or something?
Yeah. In 10 years you get the shield to match it, and then at 15 years you get a ring, and then at 20 years I think it's a helmet. Yeah. And then at 25 years you get the rest of the suit of armor, and you're required to wear it to work each day.
Well, then you're super old and can't lift any of it.
Yeah, you're too old to walk around in it. Just sit in it. They give you a throne because all you can do is sit in it. Let's see here.
Yeah, my job doesn't give away cool shit like that.
I've never had a job that does that. This is like the only one, so I'm because like before this place, I'd never even had a job where they like give a bonus or any of that stuff. So, but I always had friends who did, and I was like, man, I want a bonus, or like some cool treat. They just buy us pizza because we worked 4 months of overtime.
Right, exactly.
Wildstorm didn't give you a bonus, but Jim threw a killer Christmas party.
Oh, that's cool. I don't mind a cool Christmas party if they do that. It can be pretty good.
Jim rented a party bus and with a fully stocked bar. I mean, Jim, dude, yeah. Look, man, you talk to anybody in the comic history, they'll tell you Jim knows how to party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, Jim will party, or at least he used to.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah. Now he's like in his 60s now, right?
I believe he's like 60, something like that.
Yeah. Speaking of which, here's what you were talking about, Chuck. The oops, God, this stupid Zoom sometimes on Clip Studio. There you go. My Lino Panthro piece.
Yeah.
This is your drawing? I haven't seen this.
Yeah.
Can you go full screen on that?
Oh yeah. Here, let's see. I do that? There we go.
Yeah, Panther lets out a victory kick when he busts his nut in Lino's ass. Yeah. Oh, that's good stuff, Chitara.
She's smiling because she's like,
yeah.
I knew if I put them together that this would happen. Yeah, she's satisfied.
She's like, use the staff next.
Yeah, her matchmaking skills worked. So. But yeah, it was his accidentally posed a bit inappropriately behind Lion.
Well,
look,
it might say
even
a
has
lot
the
about
face.
the person looking at it and what they see.
I mean, yeah, for sure. And of course, Chuck's the first one that said it, so we know what's on his mind. But,
yeah. Like that's immediately what my mind went to. I was like, oh yeah, it looks like he's like getting mounted right there.
This is Chuck's cum face right here.
Oh.
This is mine because I'm
a little subtle smile.
Yeah, I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah. It hurts, but it hurts good.
Yeah. And here's Rob's. He's like, I like it. I like it.
That's right. I'm into it.
Oh, like I could watch this all day.
Actually, this is Rob's right here, the statue behind. He's like, yeah.
He's like, yeah.
Yeah, do that shit. Do it.
All right, anyway. We're gonna get kicked off YouTube.
See, now the show should be rated for kids because it's fucking juvenile.
Well, yeah, because we're talking about cartoons.
Yeah, you expected a mature program, really?
Yeah,
right.
3 comic book artists, right? Yeah. All well into their 40s at least.
Wait, what? How old? You're that? What? I'm only 22.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you're right.
I'm just getting started.
That's right. You were in diapers back in the day.
I was when I was assisting you. I was only 9. I was just a child savant, and you recognized my talent that early on.
Yep.
Yeah, and you're lucky you didn't get arrested for smoking pot with me.
That's right.
I was underage.
That's right.
Catch, where's the Comic Code Authority when you need them? See, that's why we needed them. That's why they were justified. We should have never got rid of them.
I should have been Me Too'd. Actually, no.
Time's up.
I was the most boring comic book artist ever when it came to that kind of stuff because I was already married like when I got into the industry. And I really had I was trying to put my partying days behind me. So other than, stay home and do what I do by myself. See, that doesn't sound right.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
other than imbibing current substances that are now legal.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Is it legal in New Mexico now, by the way?
It is legal for recreational use in New Mexico. Yes. Cool. So it is just like going to the store you go to a special store, of course. Yeah. But it is just like going to the store to buy anything else. So I don't even think anything of it anymore.
Yeah, it takes the fun out of it.
Sort of, yeah. Sort of. It's like, okay, the allure of this is sort of diminished.
You're not doing anything dangerous or illegal. I don't care.
Yeah. Well, and the thing of it is once you've tried all the varieties of weed and stuff that you've heard about all your life, like okay, I've tried the Maui Wowie and I've tried the Alaskan Thunderfuck and I've tried this and I've tried that, and all right, now I'm kind of over it. At the end of the day, it's all the same shit. It's all just weed. Yeah.
One actually drawback that's affected me, I think it's partly age too, but like since it is legal now, they can show all these details on the strains and on the jars they sell it in and stuff, so they can get real specific on like the strength of it. I don't know what percentage of THC was in the weed we'd buy off the streets or medical back in the day, but like you can buy stuff that's like 30 to 35% THC now, which is just an insane level and probably like more than double what we used to get. And it's just like stuff will just destroy you. And you actually do feel hungover the next day. I used to never get hungover from pot,
but now you can.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And they say like, oh, well, you can't get addicted to pot and stuff like that. I kind of don't. I mean, I think you can have bigger consequences based on the strength nowadays, though, if you get a little out of control with it, just because it is so strong versus, back in the day when you were just buying it from a dealer down the street with their brick of Mexican weed that they got that's filled with seeds or something,
Well, see, that's kind of why I switched over. Like once I found out that my dispensary here sells like shake for like half the price of the buds.
Yeah,
I just started getting that because I'm like, dude, that's the old swag prices anyway, and it's still like yeah, it's shake, but it's like stuff that's like 18%, which I know is probably 8-10% higher than the street stuff I used to get. So
yeah. Plus, you're like doing cooking stuff with it, so you don't really have to worry about that,
Yeah.
It's more just when you're burning it is when that really matters.
I do occasionally smoke some of it too, but
yeah,
as long as you like you can take orange peels and throw it in there with it, and then the moisture from the orange peels leaches into the weed without it getting too wet.
mm-hmm.
So you can keep it moist with orange peels for a long
See,
time.
here he is, Chuck, the weed conservation king.
That's right, dude. If it's a weed hack, I probably know it.
Yeah. Yeah, if y'all are broke, Chuck will help you still have a steady supply.
That's right.
I learned lots of tricks.
I will teach you to conserve your stash.
I never realized how much you could do with leftover bong water and stuff. It was genius.
I know, right? Recycling bong water.
Yeah.
I tell most people about that. They're like, what? I'm like, yeah, you can.
Yep. And that was like a legit thing to do. Like, same thing when you couldn't really, because, the stuff wasn't as strong back then. So we would do things like the chamber pipe or like, let that water evaporate and just sprinkle it on top of the regular stuff to make it stronger because it wasn't strong enough. But that's because it wasn't 30% THC.
It's because we were dope fiends.
Yes. Kent Chalk just said, damn, in star. I know what that. You go to weed college?
I do. I have a PhD in weed handling. I have a PhTHC.
Oh yeah. Right. Can we see your certificate? Your certificate's all sticky.
I rolled it up.
Yeah, remember the old Cheech and Chong record that came with the giant blunt paper?
I knew somebody that did that.
Yeah.
I knew somebody that
I think you told me about that.
Had that album, and they went and bought a quarter pound, and they took out that they knew like it was a friend of mine's mom, and she owned the album, and we got all like a quarter pound. And we pulled that rolling paper out like probably an ounce and a half that we used to roll this gigantic, like it's an album-sized joint, man. I mean, the thing was as big around as like a baby's leg, man.
Yeah, like if people don't know what we're talking about, they had when the Cheech and Chong comedy album came out. What I guess it was the 70s when it originally came out. It was a vinyl record. And it came with a rolling paper as big as the square vinyl record case. So
that's hilarious.
Imagine how big that is. Roll an entire joint with that. Man, that would have been great to just see.
It was like a half an ounce just in the roach or something like that.
God, yeah.
It's crazy.
The biggest I've ever gone is my wife and I, the first few years we were together, we became major stoners. We were smoking like a couple quarters a week or something. It was insane. But at one point, we rolled the cross joint that Seth.
Oh yeah.
We rolled a cross joint, and then we lit all three tips, and then put that into the carb of our bubbler, and then lit the top of the bubbler too, and sucked through the carb. So it was like the bubbler top and the three tips of the cross joint, all burning at once as we sucked it. It's ridiculous. It was fun though. Good times. And then we were drinking like multiple cans of those giant Arizona teas every day, which are like just chocked with sugar. So gained a little bit of weight at the time.
Yeah,
Yeah. It was fun though. I don't regret it. Can't afford it now.
No regrets.
No regrets. No regrets. Did you guys ever see the movie Meet the Millers?
I haven't.
It's I recommend it. It's pretty funny.
Is it Meet the Millers?
Yeah. It's with Jason Sudeikis, and he's like
it's got Jennifer Aniston's in it, right?
Yeah, and she pretends she's his neighbor, and she's kind of an asshole, but he convinces her to like pretend to be family so they can go across the border and get some money.
I've seen that one.
Yeah,
you're a very aggressive woman.
Yeah, but there's a scene. I think it's that one. There's a scene in it where the daughter's dating a guy, and he shows his tattoos. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? And he like has a tattoo that says "No regrets."
No regrets. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Meet the Millers. The guy who plays the kid in it too. He gets the bit on the balls, and it makes his testicle grow gigantic. He's the guy who plays the gold guy in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. What's that character?
Warlock.
Yeah, he plays Warlock in Guardians of the Galaxy. It's weird because he's such a skinny, dorky kid in that, but he's like all buff and cool and handsome.
Yeah, he suddenly turned into a hunky guy. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Dude, my understanding is like those trainers at the Marvel movies get a hold of your ass and they can have you in superhero shape in 6 months.
Oh yeah.
No matter what you look like now. Like if you
well, look what happened to Kumail.
I was just saying, like, ask Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
Because they did that shit to him.
Yep. Well, do you remember he's usually a comedian, Kumail Nanjiani?
Yeah.
He was.
Oh, wasn't he in the Eternals?
Yeah, he was, and he got all buff and stuff. Super buff.
I read that he was mad because he got super buff and then he never had like a shirtless scene. He was always in his outfit. He's like, what the fuck did he get so buff for? No one can tell. That's a lot of work.
That sounds like something he'd say, like, at least in fun, you know?
Yeah. That Eternals movie sucked, by the way.
I didn't like it when it came out. I rewatched it recently and it didn't bother me as much. It's definitely not one of the worst. There's definitely worse ones that have been made since Captain Marvel.
Cough. Yeah.
That's where everybody jumped off.
I didn't hate the last Captain Marvel movie, but it certainly wasn't good. But it wasn't like
the one with the 3 different ones, or
I was just like, all right, it was whatever, you know.
Yeah. I tried to like it, but
I never finished the third Ant-Man movie. It's like the only Marvel movie I couldn't even get through once.
Oh, see, that's funny because I love that one actually.
The third one?
Yeah,
really?
I know I'm in the minority there, but I love it. I love all the like crazy creatures in it and the quantum realm and stuff. I just love all that stuff. I really enjoy it. I even liked Bill Murray's ridiculous character in it. But yeah, I know a lot of people don't like that one.
Yeah, see, I jumped off the MCU when they did the first Captain Marvel. Like, I didn't finish the Avengers series because they were like, nope, you got to watch Captain Marvel in order to be able to understand what's going on in the last Avengers movie. And they're like, well, then fuck you guys. I guess I'm not watching the last one.
Oh, did you never watch Endgame?
No.
Oh man. That's pretty cool. You don't need to watch Captain Marvel, but I would recommend it. I think it's a good film. It's good. That's kind of it was kind of like the last one that was really good, I think.
I've heard that one was pretty good, and I've thought about it, but then it was so long, and it was like, okay, well, I've gone this long without it. I'll just blow it off.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go in cold if it's been a while. I would go back and watch. What's the one right before it?
Infinity War.
Yeah, watch Infinity War and then Endgame together, but they're good. I really enjoy them.
Yeah, that was a stretch of movies. I legitimately it was great. It was 10 years of pretty damn good shit, and then it just all just fell right off.
Yeah, as soon as Endgame ended, it was just like, they've been struggling ever since.
That third Spider-Man with the Tobey Maguire in one, I like that. That was a good one.
Oh yeah, I feel like those are kind of separate from the MCU though a little bit.
Yeah.
They're just kind of telling their own story, which I think they need to start doing. They need to stop trying to tie it all together in one universe like they were. It worked for Avengers, but it's not working anymore.
Yeah, it is not.
I'm kind of looking forward to when they just put it down and stop fucking with it.
It's Disney owns it. That'll never happen.
Yeah.
It's eternal now, like the Eternals.
Well, they've killed Star Wars so completely and totally.
Yeah, almost. I really like Andor though.
I've heard it was good, but
Andor is awesome, but yeah, I'd say the majority of it's not great.
I gave up. I don't feed the mouse anymore, man. Fuck those guys.
What? They're good people.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's good people on both sides, right? Fuck that mouse and everything he represents.
They own everything. I mean, I can't believe they own Fox now. I can't believe that was even allowed.
Yeah.
I wish they'd bought Sony instead of Fox, because Fox put out good movies. Sony
never
cannot put out a good movie. Yeah. I mean, have you seen the Spider-Man movies are good because Marvel's very involved in those, but all the spin-off Spider-Mans, you see the quality of those. Like, of course, what's the Spider-Man one? Widow? Sorry.
Madam Web.
Madam Web, yeah, the Madam Web one. And that was just horrible.
The Venoms, the Craven.
Yeah, the Craven, that was terrible too. The Venoms are the worst. Oh my god! And one of my favorite actors is, what's his face, Bane.
Tom Hardy.
Yeah, but he cannot save it.
I thought that the Venom ones were kind of like just okay, but it deserves to be better. But Venom deserves to be in a Spider-Man proper movie and done right. And
yeah,
they've run that into the ground. So
I don't even like Venom.
I like him as a character. I don't ever think he needed his own movie though.
Right.
Sort of after my time. That's the thing is, like, when I got into the industry, you're so busy with stuff. Like, there were shows. Everybody had been big into the X-Files. The X-Files had come and gone by the time I got around to like watching them, because you kind of need a big lull in the schedule to get in. I haven't played a video game with any kind of regularity since I was 24.
Yeah. Well, I got into Venom because I loved the Spider-Man black outfit that came after Secret Wars, which I didn't care about it being a symbiote. I just loved the black suit. But I couldn't understand a word Brock said in the Venom movies. I agree. I couldn't understand anything.
Yeah, I agree that the black Spider-Man suit, it's one of the rare instances, in my opinion, and probably you too, where there's already a perfect costume, this classic Spider-Man, and they come up with an alternate that you're like, I respect that one as well. It's just as good. Like, it's not the iconic one, but so rarely.
And a fan designed it, right?
I think so.
Yeah, like a contest.
Zach, right?
Did he do the final? But didn't like a fan send something in originally that kind of spurred it? Maybe I'm thinking.
Oh, I don't know.
But yeah, I can't remember which one it is, and I have yet to track it down. It might have been Secret Wars. It's not like I've tried real hard, but it might have been one of the issues of Secret Wars, or it might have been an individual Spider-Man issue. But there was one that I loved where he's being chased throughout the comic by someone, I forget who, but every panel through the entire issue, he changes. So like panel 1, he's in the classic suit. Panel 2, he's in the black suit. Then panel 3, he's in the classic one. And they keep switching, and his whole thing is like, I know if I keep changing costumes, they won't be able to keep track of me. So, which doesn't really make logical sense, but I just loved how it was drawn, and it's stuck with me to this day.
That's cool.
But I can't remember what issue it was. I have to go back and read Secret Wars. It might just be part of that. So that's when he first came back in the black suit. But
isn't memory a terrible thing? Like, I used to know all these things, like off the top of my head, what issue it was, the credits, who wrote it, who colored it sometimes. Like,
yeah. Well, just like earlier, I was like, oh, this Transformers guy, but I don't remember. He was awesome, but I don't remember his name.
Like, I had this friend of mine that I hung out with in high school, and we would go to the newsstand and check out the new comics when they got there each week, right? And he had this like little game, a little quiz that he would put me through, because like they used to sign the signatures were like along the margin there next to the UPC symbol in the 80s.
If they didn't put the UPC symbol over it.
Right. So he would take and he would cover up the names with his thumb, right, and show me the cover and ask me who penciled it and who inked it. And about 80% of the time.
Okay, you do whatever you want.
About 80% of the time, I was nailing it. Like, I would know who penciled it, who inked it.
Yeah.
I always had a really sharp eye for that.
I can still sort of see that now. Someone on Instagram posted 8 images of like just an arm, like from the shoulder down to the hand, a drawing. and it's just an arm hanging there. But it was drawn by 8 different artists, and they're like, "See if you can guess the artist." And I actually got 7 out of 8 of them right.
Right.
The only one I didn't get is just an artist I'd never heard of. Actually, is some Italian guy. But I was
who were some of the other artists that you did know?
I mean, there were a couple real obvious ones like Humberto Ramos and Joe Madureira. But there was a Silvestri one, I think. It was like 2 or 3 months ago. I don't quite remember now.
I like things like that. That's fun. I like those.
Yeah.
I'm usually pretty good at them.
Yeah. I wish I'd taken a screen grab. It would actually be kind of fun to show to see if you could guess.
Right.
Trying to see if it's in my history, but yeah, no, it's too far back.
You should, I don't know if you blow up Chuck's page. I want you to see the picture of the guy getting stabbed in the dick with a sword. That's the panel he's working on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there we go.
He's cut his arms off. Just.
I love Rob's snort.
Like, yeah, that's the proper like angle. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Buddy. I mean,
that's perfect. Man, I mean, because my comic's been pretty tame still because it's the build up, but like the second half of it is going to be so violent. I'm going to have to refer to your comic for ideas by that point.
Well, it is definitely like it started out. This one kind of like violent, but not graphic. But it's about to be like this is where it's gonna get really adult real quick. So yeah, I just wanted to see that. That's
yeah.
That's
great. Yeah. Someone saying, plot twist on the Spider-Man switching costumes. Liefeld did the pencils and they just used that as an excuse for him not paying attention to the costume, which could be true. There's a Marvel character named Killstrike. I'm sure Liefeld ripped that off too. Yeah. Or Strike Kill. Is Kill Snap taken from that? Is Kill Snap just like a style of that character that you made, or is he actually? I mean, I know he's kind of a Wolverine sort of thing too, but was there like a Liefeld one or anything that looks?
Well, he's
directly taken from.
In the book, there's a character that was in the original like Youngblood #1 that was part of some bad guys, and then he's part of. But his name was Deadlock. And in the book, the Liefeld book, when Bloodstrike himself is beating the shit out of Deadlock, he's making fun of him, how he's a terrible Wolverine cosplay ripoff.
Okay.
So I just took the name Deadlock and did kill, and then like a lock. I'm thinking like a padlock. It snaps shut. That's the level of thought that I put into it. It's just kill snap. And I was like, that sounds appropriately 90s stupid.
Yep. That's about the same thought that they put into it.
Right. So that's all it is.
You just should have called it Blood Snap.
Responding to it. People kind of like, that's a perfect name. I love it. So
yeah, it's a good name.
All right.
Death Blood.
Right.
Oh, remember Overkill? And Rob had to change it to Overt Kill. Yeah, I remember that. So stupid. And same with, didn't Badrock, wasn't he originally Bedrock?
He was Bedrock.
Yeah. Hanna-Barbera got pissy.
Yeah, Hanna-Barbera was like, you sure you don't want to like change that to something else?
I don't get how that makes any sense. Like, it's an animated cartoon and it's the name of the town, and this is a 90s Image comic. It's a giant mutant rock monster, but they can copyright the name Bedrock.
Well, look, they can do a trademark on it. And when it comes to copyright and IP law like that, it's really not about who's right or who's wrong and who has legitimate rights. It's all about who has the money to wear out who.
Yeah, the lawyers. Also, I think, don't those rights vary between what, like certain media can get grouped up together too? Like comics might be included under the trademark for like animated media too. Whereas if you did it in like a live action film, it might be different,
Yeah, that makes sense.
There's all sorts of rules and regulations, but what it comes down to is if a big company decides that it has a legitimate right to whatever it is that you're trying to do, it's easy to just change the name into something else and move along than just trying to fight it because they've got more money than you.
Yeah, that's all they're going to do is just drag it out until you run out of money. They don't care.
Well, like for instance, Kyron Dwyer, he was.
Oh, are you talking about the Starbucks thing?
The Starbucks thing, yeah. Kyron Dwyer did a parody of the Starbucks logo, and Starbucks decided that they didn't like it, so they were going to sue him for copyright infringement. And he's like, "Well, look, it's clearly different, and I'm doing it as a parody. That's allowed within the copyright rules." And they like, "Fuck you! You're going to change it anyway." And he's like, "The hell I am!" And they sued the shit out of him and won. And he
for years they kept him, till he went broke over it. Basically,
they beat the shit out of him financially over it, and really, realistically, he was right. The criteria was there. It was a parody. There was enough of a difference that nobody could possibly confuse it as the Starbucks logo and make a mistake. He wasn't trying to sell anything beyond that image or anything else. And but yeah, none of that mattered. They had more money and they beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Wow.
And plus, it must just drive him crazy because since then there's been a ton of stuff that's even closer matched to it that's parodying Starbucks, like all over the place, like stories and shirts and all kinds of stuff. And I guess they gave up going after it. But Sir Lester Griffin, he said, "What up? Fellow Star Trek fan is back, Rob. Plus, Bedrock is an actual rock layer too." Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it makes more sense that he'd be using it. Like, couldn't you? Well, same thing. The lawyers could just keep it in court, but you could argue that it's like, I named it after rock. He's made out of bedrock. But lawyers are like, well, you can say that for the next 3 years. We'll just keep it in court and keep arguing it till you give up.
I guess ultimately, I think bedrock kind of fits better.
Yeah, it fits like the cheesy sort of type of naming he did for all those teams back in the 90s, honestly.
Yeah, they made him change the name to Bad Rock, and they made him stop having the characters say Yabba Dabba Doom.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't even remember him doing that. Oh, my God.
That was part of the deal.
Yep. They would jump out of jets and shit. He'd yell, "Yabba Dabba Doom."
That's just like the Fighting American. Like Marvel sued him over Captain Marvel, but it was Fighting American, also created by Kirby. But Liefeld had him with his shield. He was clearly a Captain America knockoff, and Marvel knew it. And he did it just to piss off Marvel. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. But at the end of the day, they drug him through court and everything else. And they did determine that Liefeld had a separate character that he was doing, but that shield that he's carrying, he can never throw it at anybody.
No throwing it.
Like, you can't throw you can't, like basically they just came in and hamstringed it to the point where it wasn't worth doing after that.
Yeah.
I think after that whole lawsuit with Liefeld and the Hanna-Barbera, I think McFarlane was trying to just poke them because there's an issue of Spawn where all the homeless guys are in an alleyway and they're singing the Flintstones theme song, like word for word. And then there's a little asterisk by it. It says copyright Hanna-Barbera,
Yeah.
It seems like something McFarlane is doing. He's like, I'll fucking piss them off. I'll show them. I'm going to do this.
Yeah, McFarlane gives no fucks, dude.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and he's experienced with just spending a lot of time in court, too.
Yeah.
He'll wait it out.
Hey, Chuck, did you ever run into McFarlane in your days?
I never met him. No.
Never crossed paths, huh? No.
I would have loved to have met that guy. That's out of the Image guys. That's the one I wanted to meet that I didn't get to meet.
No, that's a bummer.
Yeah, from what I understand, he's like he can be a bit of a tyrant when it comes to business and stuff, but he's supposed to be a really super nice guy in person, especially with other artists.
Yeah, he's there for the fans because he knows that's where his money's made. I feel like, just like you said, he's there for them. He'll sit there for hours on end signing shit.
Yeah.
And I guess you think he's sitting back now, just having a little bit of a silent chuckle after his lawsuit with Neil Gaiman. He's like,
"Oh man,
asshole. How about that?"
Yeah, justified.
Oh man, I mean, I think McFarlane was kind of the dick in that whole issue, that whole thing, but still.
Yeah, I mean, that whole thing, like, I think, McFarlane kind of fucked a few people over, but yeah. I watched the, have you seen the Mignola documentary on Amazon Prime?
No, I want to.
It's good. I watched it last night, but it doesn't age well in one way.
Uh-oh.
They keep cutting to Neil Gaiman to interview him, talking about Mignola a lot, because he wrote a story with Mignola. So, but it's like, oh man, because they recorded it a couple years back, I think.
There's this one documentary that I saw where they were talking to where they interview. Oh, that's what it is. It's an episode of Ancient Aliens where they compare the ancient alien gods to superheroes. So they're talking to comic book people. One of the people that they talk to is co-founder of the Ultraverse and later on possessor of child pornography, Gerard Jones.
Oh man!
And they got him there on camera talking about the wonderment of comics and how it affects children. And
oh Jesus!
Yikes! Yeah, he's the one that created Prime at the Ultraverse, and that was the character that was the overly muscled superhero that inside was a little kid.
Wow.
Like a 12-year-old or something.
I don't even think I knew that stuff about him, about that he'd gotten busted and stuff. I mean, I didn't really follow Prime or any of those comics.
Dude, there's Gerard Jones. There's another guy that was a heavily influenced inker that was heavily influenced by Frank Frazetta, and he used to ink Brent Anderson over on Kazar. Okay. And he did a bunch of savage sort of Conans and stuff too by the name of Armando Gil.
I've heard that name, yeah.
He used to be the inker on Micronauts. Well, currently Armando Gil is in prison for child molestation.
Oh my God.
Like some of this stuff, like DC won't reprint some of their, like they've got Justice League Task Force and a couple other titles that they'd like to reprint, but they won't reprint them because they don't want Gerard Jones to see any money.
Oh yeah. Is he still excuse me? He's still eligible to get money if he's like convicted and in prison and stuff, I guess.
I'm not sure what the law. I mean, obviously you can't. There's some sort of law against making money off of the crimes that you committed. Like if you murder somebody, you can't write a tell-all book about how you killed them and make money off of that.
Yeah.
Okay. But in the case of something like this, man, I don't think that applies because this is all work that he did before he was charged, and it's completely unrelated. So you can't.
Yeah, that's true. That's how O.J. Simpson was still rich when he got out of prison too.
Simpson was just signing autographs. What my understanding was, but he'd charge you like $300 to sign.
Yeah. Well, he had like all the movies over the years and stuff too, and
that too. That's the thing, is that they think they ruined some of these people and blah, 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 and this and that. And like, in a way, you kind of have. Like, okay, you can stop running the Cosby Show, but that penalizes the rest of the cast. You know?
Yeah. I was thinking somebody was posting about that, the whole thing with Neil Gaiman and how they like DC or Dark Horse or whatever it is, or they're ceasing like reprinting any of his works. And there is a current project in the works that they're canceling. And I'm like, that's fine. But all the people who were, the artists involved and residuals that they would get for those works that are no longer in print, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That penalizes them. And that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
You said penal.
I did.
Well, even the whole Harry Potter stuff with that woman who wrote it, she's like, there's so much work coming from that, and she's doing her best to try to just destroy the whole thing. Even crazier is one of the plot lines in Prime had him in his adult superhero form hitting on a classmate. Oh, yikes. Someone was saying that.
Oh, jeez.
Cold snap. Demon. I'm just catching up on chats. 100% trolling them. Yeah. I had Ultra Force and even that Nightman TV series. I forgot about that Nightman's TV series too. George Perez feeding it. Yeah, that's true. I think I have a few issues just because George Perez. I mean, I have some of that company's issues just because of the art, but I never read them. The characters. All right, Chuck left for a second, so now we can talk shit.
All right.
Because he'll never see it.
Yeah, he's not going to go back and rewatch.
Yeah. Ultra Force was very underrated. Do you understand? Yeah. Was it? I never read it, so I can't really say. Did you ever read Ultra Force?
No. Looked so stupid to me. Now, I'm not saying it was stupid, but it looked stupid. And that's in the world where I have a limited budget to spend money on comics, at that era. Yeah. I'm like, if it looks dumb and sounds dumb and feels dumb, why would I pick it up when I only got $20 a week? At the time, $20 could get you several books.
For sure.
But now it's like it'll get you 2 or 3.
Yeah. Kind of same with me with some of that stuff. I think Prime actually looked like a cool character, I thought, but I don't think I liked the artist that drew it a lot of the time too, so I wouldn't pick it up because I was very much 100% buying by artist, not the writer in those days.
Yeah, basically me too.
Which, as I look back on old stuff, was like foolish now because some of that stuff is unreadable even with good art. But
yeah, I don't know. I don't regret anything I bought if I loved the art.
Yeah. Like, it's still fun to look at.
There might be a little regret, but it's not like complete regret. It's just like, all right. I bought Spawn forever and ever and ever, and I hated the story, but I just kept buying it. And eventually, around 50 or 60, I finally.
Same here, just for Capullo.
Yeah.
Orbital Hub got to hang out with Mike Turner very casually for 20 minutes back in 2003. I heard he was a super nice guy too.
Yeah. I've heard nothing but good stories about that guy. That one. Yeah. That hurt.
Bummer
to hear when that finally happened the way it did.
All right, I had to step away for a second.
That's cool. All right, I guess we gotta stop talking shit.
Yeah. Well, we were mad talking shit,
Someone said Prime was decent to me. The art wasn't terrific, but it also wasn't terrible. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I didn't think the art was terrible, but it wasn't cool enough to make me spend money on it because, I could only buy so many a month too or a week.
Me
art
too.
Power, y'all. Yes. Yeah.
Although I've since gone back and bought that stuff. It's Norm Brayfogle.
Yeah, it's some of that stuff I probably would appreciate more now too because I was just all into 90s Flash and stuff at that time. So.
Well, and when I bought it up was after the bubble had burst, so it was all discounted.
Yeah.
Like by the time I bought it, it was marked down to what it was worth.
Yeah. By the way, you remember that eBay thing I saw of the old Gen Chronicles, the one I did with Zach, that Newcomers Publishing cheesy black and white.
Yeah.
They had the 4 issues on there for someone was selling it for $2,000. My 4 issues in it.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I've been sending them counter offers. I've done it like 4 times, and they keep countering back with like, "Oh, well, for $1,800 you can have it." I think they went down to like $800 once, but yeah, I keep sending them a new offer. I sent one just a couple days ago for the highest I've ever sent. I was like, "Okay, $25. Let's just see it." Yeah.
See they didn't even count them down.
Yeah, they didn't even counter offer this time. They just declined it.
Like, no.
Yeah, but it's like I wish I could message them directly. It's like, come on, do you really think? I mean, $2,000 is worth more than even the original art for all these books. Is you really think you're ever going to make that money? You'll never sell these. You might as well make $25 off it. I could check back in 10 years. These will be in a storage locker somewhere, still unsold.
Yeah. They're like, don't lowball me. I know what I got. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. The Nightman comic was great too, but they kept changing the costume every issue, though. Oh, well, that's not good. You gotta nail down the costume, man.
That helps.
Perez made CrossGen good too, but Epting Fan and Cazador too, yeah. Well, CrossGen was another one. Like I didn't like a lot of the stories, but I liked a lot of the art. So bought a lot of stuff for the art on that. You worked on which ones did you work on for that, Chuck? Was it that martial arts one with all the material?
Silk and Ghost. It was a spin-off of their Way of the Rat comic.
Yeah, and had all that cloth material and stuff.
Yeah, they had that. The guy that drew that, Will Rosado. Man, it was great working over his stuff. He really could draw.
Yeah, that stuff was good.
That was the thing, is after coming from Wildstorm, you would get these guys, and they had talent and everything, but it was clunky in spots. It wasn't always 100%. It had just enough flash to keep people interested.
Yeah.
Hey, there's Ray Dillon.
Yeah, I was just about to say Ray Dillon there.
What's up, Dudes. Ray Dillon?
I like his icon, his thumbnail.
Dude, I've seen a couple things that he's thrown down on Instagram. I was like, damn, dude, that looks a little bit like Neil Adams going on. I mean, it's not like dead on, but
nice,
respectable.
Ray can draw. There's no doubt about that.
No shit, man. I'm like, damn.
Well, here we go. Ray Dillon art, followed by Chuck and Rob. I guess I'll follow too.
Yeah, now you have to. Now it's all public and like, oh, you don't follow me. All right.
Oh yeah, this is great. Oh man, that Edgar Allan Poe is freaking awesome. I like his line work a lot. It's cool. All right, cool. All right, I guess it's all right.
All right, it's okay.
You can stay in the chat this time.
Yeah. He said, "Thank you very much. That's an honor." Yeah. Sinister Griffin said, "Rob is definitely right. You put the right artist on the book to make anything look good. God Perez made every book look good." Yeah. Is it me, or are the artists coming up nowadays not as good as past generations? Well, honestly, I think they're still good, but I don't know if it's editorial or the writers or what, but it's not that their technical skills are good. It's what they're choosing to draw in the panels is so boring,
Yeah,
like the Ultimate Spider-Man, like they could be Joe Madureira, but it's still gonna be just as boring if they just have to draw 30 pages of talking heads,
Well, see, but I don't know. From my point of view, I think about it a little differently. I do think that the artists that are up and coming now like suck ass through a straw. So
don't sugarcoat it.
Yeah, tell us how you really feel.
Okay, that joke landed a little flatter than I expected, but yeah, I'm joking. No, there are some guys that are. I don't follow as much of it as I could. I don't get to the comic store. I kind of, all my new comic stuff comes from what I see online, what I hear people talking about. But there's a few guys, Ryan Stegman. I like Ryan Stegman's stuff. And there's a few other dudes out there, but they're kind of few and far between. There's a lot of other guys that are sort of like really?
Yeah. I mean, aside from Daniel Warren Johnson, I'm not seeing like a new Jim Lee up and coming or a Mark Silvestri or anything.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But it's weird because there's some people out there that I see could have potential, but, they're doing work for like the big two. And it all tends to be, it's almost like they're not being allowed to really stretch their wings. I wonder like, if they just went off and did a Kickstarter, their own creator owned or something, and they could really just go off. I wonder if they would kind of excel to that level, but I almost wonder if editorial is like, since the big two don't really support artists like they used to in the 90s anyways, because they're afraid of them all leaving. I wonder if they just kind of force them, like if editorial's like, don't draw like a big splash panel on every page, we want 9 panels of dialogue, to tell it's storytelling. It's not flash, or some crap like that.
But that would be so stupid because no one's making any sales on anything. Like, why not?
I know
they would have them just like free the beast and let somebody just get some conversation going and then pay them appropriately. And then maybe you'll hold on to them.
Yeah, that's what I would think too. And I'm just making assumptions too. I mean, as far as what's going on, but yeah, it does seem like they just keep doing the same thing though, regardless. It's like, why? Like you've seen it doesn't work for decades now,
Well, look, man, I mean, if you were in the position where they were asking you to do this stuff, I'm not going to give you anything new. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not like you're going to remember me. Like, look, in a way, here's the thing. Jim Lee has been absolutely brilliant because you go look at his X-Men stuff, and it's really kind of like a really good cover band, like a really good cover band playing greatest hits. because all those storylines, they'd been to Antarctica before. They had dealt with Khazar before. They had been to the Savage Land. They dealt with Magneto and all that shit. And all he
just did his own
was,
version of them all.
Yeah, he went through the classic versions, the classic stories that everybody remembers, and basically regurgitated them. And then he went over to Batman with Hush and did the same damn thing. It was like a greatest hits of all the villains. Yeah. We make sure that we got to make sure that we do the sword fight with Ra's al Ghul in the desert, just like Neil Adams did it. And, I mean, it was really sort of like a review of the stories that everybody likes. And I think that's part of the popularity to it. But that's smart too, because like how many stories do you hear of like, oh, well, I got assigned this book and they didn't have a design for this character. So they just said, make it up. So I did keep the gig. And then all of a sudden now they're putting it in movies and shit and they're not paying.
Yeah. Yeah. And people have wised up to that now. So they aren't going to give it their full effort. Those guys. Ray Dillon said, I'm the new young gun of the new generation. So it's good to see that his head isn't big or anything, especially.
Talk about the Jim Lee thing, how he just kind of regurgitates all the stuff. Well, you think about the elements that he tried to add that were new, and I assume it was him, like, what was it, Maverick and Omega Red? Like, those didn't have any staying power.
No. Well, as much as I love Jim Lee, one of my biggest critiques is he is the worst character designer on the planet.
Thank you. Fucking God, thank you. I hate his costume design. It's awful.
Terrible.
He'll draw the classics brilliantly.
Yeah, if it's already designed, he'll do his own version of it amazingly. But yeah, if he designs an original character, they're just,
And this is where you got to give Liefeld credit. He made Cable and Deadpool, and a creator's lucky to create one character with like legacy staying power.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And he's got two major ones, and then a couple secondary ones like Shatterstar, Domino.
Yeah,
but Deadpool and Cable were like, and their looks are pretty like distinctive. So, to his credit. Who else did McFarlane create anything that epic, or did Silvestri or Portasio or Larson? Liefeld.
Well, did McFarlane actually create Venom? Like, does he have the rights or the credit for that?
I think he's credited with co-creating, and like he did the visual.
Okay.
Which, I mean, the costume was already designed, so he just put him on a big muscle builder guy and give him that big Cheshire grin, and then Larson added the tongue.
With Venom, it was really, that was a case of the thing like I'm talking about. Like, look, the only reason why McFarlane is the co-creator of Venom is because he was the current artist on the book when David Michelinie decided to run that storyline.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't really think he had much more because the costume was already created. And Rob was saying that it was Larson that added the tongue. So other than putting him in a big guy frame, what did McFarlane really do to create that character?
I think the smile, the big grin. That was what McFarlane added.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's a lot. That was I think that's the thing. You're like, big guy, black costume, there's a big smile.
Yeah.
There he is.
Like Stan Lee creation, right? Like let's do an issue with the Impossible Man in it, and then Jack comes back with the full issue done, and Stan goes, "Look what I created."
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Drives me nuts. The more I learn about all that stuff,
dude, Steve Ditko is the one that said it best. That I believe the quote was that Stan Lee's greatest talent was signing his name next to the artist.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I remember Marvel had their Young Guns. No artist gets that shine put on them anymore. Yeah, I mean, they won't allow it because they're afraid they'll all leave like in the 90s, so they won't bank on them anymore.
That's stupid, though. Like,
I know.
You're shooting yourself in the foot.
Talk about cutting off your nose to spite your face, dude.
I know.
Like, so you mean to tell me that you'd rather sell no comics at all rather than sell comics and make this guy get some juice behind him? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Like I would rather stand here on my own dick than step off and let this guy like give me some aid.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
no,
dude,
it's all the writers, dude. It's not the artists.
Yeah.
Sean Gordon Murphy is another great recent artist. Yeah. That's actually Chuck definitely agrees with that one. He loves Sean Gordon Murphy.
I don't have a problem with Sean Gordon.
No, I don't think you dislike him, but I thought you said you weren't really into his stuff though one time. Not that you were trashing him or anything.
It's very manga based kind of stuff, and my taste for that is very limited.
Yeah,
you know.
I didn't mean to make it sound like you were trashing or anything. Yeah.
Oh no, well,
you were not as into it as we were.
Hey, he's not in a position to hire me or fire me, and I'm not looking to work for anybody he's got any juice with. So if he wants to trash me, he can.
I admire what he's done, like how much control he's gotten over his ideas through DC of all places too. Instead of just going creator owned, man. He has a whole universe built there now.
It kind of feels like DC's the one given a little bit of like creative control like that. Does Marvel have anything like that going on? We're like, hey, artist, go nuts.
Yeah, not really. Not right now that I can think of.
Anytime you do that, anytime you get something like that going on that's fed by desperation more than anything else.
Yeah.
So if you see anybody get any creative license, it's because they're not making any money on anything else. Look, even Rob Liefeld will tell you that when he got hired on the New Mutants, he was hired with the understanding in mind, like, look, man, you got to come in and shake this thing up. This thing's on its deathbed. Help us. Do something. Yeah. I don't care what you do. You can do whatever you want as long as you manage somehow to breathe life into this motherfucker. Otherwise, we're all looking for a new book.
Yep.
And when you put it to somebody like that, like when the Image era was going on, that's why they're hiring all these young guys. Well, look, they're all hungry for a chance. You can pay them all starting page rates. Okay. You can bring somebody like Frank Miller in or somebody like that can bring sales for sure, but it's going to cost you more because you got to pay them more.
Yep.
So at some point that they become desperate, it's like, all right, we're desperate for sales, but we can't afford any of the established talent. So what do? We invite in newcomers. We pay them peanuts and hope that we hit it lucky. We hope we throw enough shit against the wall that some of it sticks.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really what they need to do. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Yeah, I agree. I mean, they really should. And there's a lot of people that could do that. Like Nick Dragata on the Ultimate Batman they're doing. Not Ultimate, it's Absolute Batman. He's freaking awesome. He could be one of those people, you know. I mean, he's not totally new, but he's really breaking out now, and I hope they push it like that based on his art, you know. Without his art, I don't think that book would be nearly as good. Not that it's bad, but it's an interesting take on Batman, but the art is definitely pushes it to the next level.
I am not hearing good things about the Capullo Wolverine book.
I'm not excited about it, honestly. I love Capullo's art, but it's not exciting me like it normally would. I'm not sure why.
I've heard nothing but good stuff, but
I mean, it's not bad. It's decent, and it's still better than a lot of other X-Men art out there, but it doesn't like, I don't look at it and go like, oh god, this is awesome. I'm so glad he's on it. It's a little underwhelming. I don't know if he's like being too tame with his art, maybe. I'm not sure. I can't really honestly personally figure it out what it is. I mean, I don't dislike it. I'm buying it, and it's drawn well.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't fire me up like, you know, like Spawn days or early Batman days, you know? I don't know. Maybe he just needs to go, maybe it's too lit. He needs to go back to the dark and gritty, grimy stuff. Like, it's almost like too clean now.
Well, look, you got Tim Townsend there, and you can't get gritty with Tim.
Yeah.
He's not going to give you that. So,
yeah, like he's doing the third series of his creator-owned one too. He's been working on in tandem with Wolverine. What's it called?
Creech.
Not Pit. Creech. Yeah, And like that Creech stuff is totally gritty, and I love that stuff. And he's been posting, well, even his Wolverine his Wolverine pencils that he posts on Instagram look amazing. And then I see it in the final inked issue, and I'm kind of like, oh, it lost some of its.
I agree with that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that penciled stuff. I want them to print like a full book of just his pencils. I've screenshotted and saved to my phone like every penciled image he's put up of that book, because it's just like, this is so good.
Yeah,
but it does lose something. You're
yeah. Oh, Sinister Griffin said, yeah, his Wolverine looks great, but the story is just atypical Logan too. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely part of it. The story is really boring. I'm not interested at all. I mean, it started out like it might be cool because it's like kind of a future thing, and like everybody's dying or they kill off everyone, but it didn't have the impact I hoped for. So I was kind of like, oh, whatever.
I keep waiting for the industry to pull its head out of its ass.
Yeah. I don't know if the big two are ever going to do it. I think it's all going to be, the indie world is going to take over, and it's just going to be, like individual books. Like, like it's even happening now. Penguin took over distributing for Marvel now, but like, it's just going to become like books now. It's a bunch of individual creators creating stuff, and then the book publishers will put it out, and it won't be based on a company or a line. It'll just be individual stuff. Because I mean, they haven't pulled their head out of their ass in decades. They're never going to change.
Well, they've done so much irreparable damage with some of these characters that, look, man, there's some of these characters that they've had, some of the things that they've had these characters do and have these characters see and have these characters experience in the last 15, 20 years that you cannot unmake.
Yeah.
Like, people don't even think of the character the same way anymore because of the way you've done this sensationalist crap just to garner attention, like the National Enquirer or something. Well, look, just like the National Enquirer, you no longer have any journalistic integrity, do you?
Yep. Well, that's exactly why I'm doing my comic, the Punisher thing, because I don't like what they've done to Punisher. He's so lame now. I want to go back to old Punisher, that's the stuff I liked, so I'm going to do my own version of it. I don't want to get hired by Marvel to draw my favorite character, because that's not who I'd be drawing anymore. I just do it on my own, what I want, and have fun with it.
Well, and that's why I sort of gave up on the idea of the big two anymore. Like once digital art came around and sort of recaptured my interest, and then crowdfunding got to the point where it looked like that was a viable option. I'll be honest with you, I've always had the idea that I would, I don't want to work for Marvel. I want to do what Marvel's doing.
Yeah, I don't have the drive like when I was younger to be like, the only drive I have to maybe work for those guys is like, it would just give you some better exposure to make your personal stuff get a little boost,
Right. Yeah, I could see using it for something like that, maybe. But honestly, I think at this point, even that ship has sailed. Like, I don't think you get a boost from them like you did in the 90s.
Yeah.
They're so busy not promoting artists that, like, shit, they're not even going to mention your name.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, at least once upon a time, it was in the bullpen page, and at least give the credits of the artists who did it or something, and you at least see your name there. But they don't even do that kind of stuff anymore. And if they announce your name on a book, chances are by the time it comes out, you've added 2 or 3 other artists to it, because God forbid you should get one artist to do a whole book.
Yeah, people are still so extraordinarily bad with crediting the artist on a book too. I mean, even with newer stuff, even indie stuff, I've seen sometimes they just like, there was some, actually I think it was from McFarlane that came out recently, like it listed 4 people that did art on it in really small type at the beginning, but it didn't say who did what at any point in the book, like who drew it. It was different art on different pages. And it didn't say who drew which pages. It didn't say who, some of the names you don't even know. So how can you even follow these guys if you like them? Like, it didn't say who was the inker, who was the penciler. You didn't even know if one of them was the writer, if you don't know their names. So Yeah, and it's especially bad with the bigger companies now. It's just like, come on. Even like some Image comics, they're supposed to be all about the creator, but I'll see some Image comics come out and it's like they'll list like, man, I should keep a list. I'm just kind of making hearsay now. But I was at the comic shop the other day and there were a couple Image books I looked at, and the art was kind of interesting, but they had two people written on the cover, but nowhere in the interior did it say their names again or credit any artists or anything. It was just the art going through. There was no credits page or anything. I was like, what the hell?
Wow. It's getting like the way it was before Marvel started crediting people.
Yeah. It's like I figured that would be, especially with all the like indie people now, like that would be not as big of an issue now, but still is.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Like people surprise you about all kinds of stuff. Like, okay, like there's a certain writer that was an aspiring artist at one point and made his bones as a writer, but who's recently started doing work with AI. And I'm like,
Ugh.
So you aspired to be an artist at one point, gave up to be a writer, and now that you have the opportunity to just cheat the artist out of the deal entirely, you're totally ready to do that.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Yeah, it's messed up. Yeah, they want to get an artist who did it because they're moving to AI to do it. Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if, I mean, they're trying to sneak it in some now. Like some of the big companies is trying to sneak in AI, hoping people won't notice and they get called out. But
at the risk of starting up a topic that nobody wants to talk about too much, it's Chuck Dixon, and he's doing it over on fucking Rippaverse bullshit.
Oh, I didn't even know. What's Rippaverse? I don't even know that. Actually.
Oh, man.
You don't know what that is?
No.
Maybe
I shouldn't go there.
He was sort of affiliated with Comicsgate at one point, and then
is it that type of thing? Okay.
They had a falling out, and he splittered off on his own. And some people some people still consider him like in the Comicsgate category, and some people don't. It's sort of hard to say at this point. I don't keep up with the scorecard. Yeah. But yeah, it's a lot of mudslinging bullshit that I don't enjoy keeping up with.
Yeah, I hate that crap.
But they've been hyper successful. Like,
yeah. Well, that's the thing that drives me nuts the most about, like, I don't know Rippaverse, but even the Comicsgate. So, I mean, aside from the whole political thing or the opinions or the harassment, any of that stuff, just the fact that those guys are bitching and whining like they're victimized by the industry or something, but like you guys are making 3 or 4 times the money you would have been making working for those companies anyway. You should be stoked. But you just can't stop talking shit. It's like, just enjoy it, man. Make your comics. You have the opportunity to do what you dreamed of,
I think part of that is their shtick, honestly.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, like if you seem like you're oppressed, that makes people more inspired to help you out. Probably inspires some sales.
Yeah, I think that's the case with a lot of people that are associated with them too. They're like, well, I know if I, I'm trying to not go too deep into this, but people like Ethan Von Sciver, who's like kind of the most well-known, he's not a good guy, but people associate with him. I've seen people associate with him that I know are decent people. And you're like, well, why are you talking to him? But then you look what he's doing. He's promoting their book and it's getting huge results. So like, okay, that's why, you just want the attention for your book, you're kind of selling your soul for it, in my opinion. But
I don't think there's anything wrong with that if that's what you're into. I mean, there's room for everybody. There's room for everybody's opinion. It's only been in the last few years that all of a sudden you had to conform to one side or the other, and you need everybody's opinion. How do you, like?
Oh yeah, there's nothing wrong with like criticizing and stuff like that.
It's the old basis of comparison thing. You don't know whether anything's good unless there's something bad sitting around next to it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, opinions are fine, and even like, yeah, just a lot of the stuff that they complain about. It's more when you kind of get into like harassing other people who for not agreeing with you and stuff, and trying to act like you're been victimized by them or something is the stuff that drives me nuts. And that's kind of what it ends up devolving to, unfortunately, a lot of the time.
I don't know. I try not to
indulge
in too much of it. I mean, that's why I was kind of hesitant to bring it up anyway. But we were talking about the AI thing, and it like, okay, well, the only way I can do this is talk about Chuck Jason and
we won't keep going into it. Yeah, because I honestly I hate talking about it too, and it's just exhausting, and I don't really care. I just try to avoid it in general, so I shouldn't even bring it up more.
And the whole thing is like man, if those guys were as much into making comics as I see like drama farming that goes on, like
exactly.
Like, man, who gives a shit about all this stuff? Who's got time for this? Concentrate on your book, man.
Yeah. I mean, because there's stuff. Some of their stuff. I mean, because like I said, I'm not going to bring up names and keep harping on this, but there's a couple guys who actually did crowdfunding for a couple books, and I was really excited to get it. One was a classic artist, and one was a newer guy who had a really cool style. And a couple months went by. It got funded. I was going to get the book soon, but then I got directed to like some blogs they were on that was associated with Comicsgate, and they're just basically going on these like super aggressive racist rants for like page after page after page. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? So I called him and asked him for a refund on the book, and it just kind of bummed me out. I was like, I can't read that and then read this. Why do you even have to do that? Just talk about comics and share art and make your comic that you love. Why do you have to get into all this crap that really has nothing to do with comics at all? And no one really gives a shit anyway what your opinion is,
And that's why I hesitate to even bring that stuff up, because you go down that political rabbit hole and it always gets ugly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm with you. Like, who gives a flying fuck what I think, you think, or anybody else thinks, man? At the end of the day, nobody's got any juice to get any of this shit done one way or the other. So who gives a fuck what you think about it?
Yeah. And even
like actors and stuff. Like, dude, stand on your mark, say your fucking line, and try to emote. And beyond that, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, even if it's comics related stuff, how a lot of them are like, Marvel and them are so woke, I don't want to do all that stuff. It's like, well, fine. Then don't work for Marvel and make your own comics. Like, show that through your work by like, I don't need them, like, okay, cool. Do the comic that you think should be being made yourself.
Yeah. Quit talking the talk and start walking the walk.
Yeah. I mean, they're woke. This shouldn't be done. Okay, well, fucking prove it and do it. Show me what you got. Show me what you got.
Yeah, show me what you got. Yeah, you got served.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how it used to be, before social media and stuff. Anyway, they were very opinionated. There's always been very opinionated guys in comics. John Byrne. But you don't have all this like immediate drama, so they would just kind of try to show it through making their comics.
Well, I think there was the immediate drama there, but the only place that you had that you could voice any of that shit was like the Comics Journal.
Yeah.
Comics Buyer's Guide, the letters page of Comics Buyer's Guide. There was a lot of mudslinging that went back and forth and things like that. But
yeah,
aside from that, it wasn't like the web where I could just get on anytime I wanted to and voice my opinion and have it seen by all these different people.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to have to write a letter to the editor, and they're going to have to select it, and it's going to have to be printed. And then people will go, hey, John Byrne's a dick.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it's not even now. It's not even if the creator's a jerk or weird or something like that. Like, you're not allowed to be a fan of them despite that, because people will know, and then you'll get trolled for it as well. So
it's turned into the 1980s tastes great, less filling, and if you're
yeah.
You can't cheer for tastes great if you're on the less filling side, dude. You can't do it.
I might have to wrap up my my contribution.
Yeah, no,
to this.
I literally just looked at the clock and it's been over 2 hours, so I'm thinking the same. Yeah. Yeah, let's wrap it up here then. Let's I'm gonna zoom out here, show what we've been doing here. Oops, hang on, let's see. Well, your guys coming along here, Rob. I'm taking my sweet ass time on him, but Kill Snap is fun, man.
It's looking great, man.
Got his exploding heart all over his face. It's blood, not anything else.
He loves the explosions right on his face, neck, and chest.
Oh yeah. Cool, man. Oh yeah. Wait, let me go back to full page on Chuck here real quick for the
dick stabbing.
Yeah, exactly. Oops. Hang on. Come on. Not full page me. There we go. Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's looking awesome, dude.
Thanks, man.
And then here we got Rob here. Yeah. What's gonna happen? Well, I don't want to spoil her, but what's gonna happen? Is she gonna get her head blown off?
Well, this is right after the page that Chuck's working on, because there's a big face shot of the guy of Kill Snap, just a rant of screaming like horrible obscenities. So Ninja Guy just chops his head.
That's awesome. I love that shot, dude. Just a little going off.
Yeah. And then the girl with the bow and arrow, they kind of have a conversation. Well, why the hell are you here? And they kind of some, dialogue back and forth. And the guy puts the gun in her face and he's like, get lost before I kill you too. Like, I'm going to, just going to let her go. Yeah. And she's going to take off. So I'm wrapping them up and then we're on to the next stuff.
Sweet.
So she doesn't get naked?
Not her. Not her.
Talk about a crotch shot, he said.
Nice.
So does this mean there's not going to be a Kill Snap spinoff then? Damn.
Oh, I was talking earlier. I'm like, the more I think about him, the more I like the guy. And if whatever in the future happens, I'm like, I keep coming up with bullshit ways to bring him back because I honestly kind of start liking this dumbass. So
yeah. You could do origin stories like prequels and stuff.
Yeah.
Or it is comics. He could be reformed.
I was gonna say, I'll just write some line like the corporation put him back together with their secret alien technology, and he's just there. So, it's done.
And here he is from the prequel, Kill Snap himself.
Yeah.
All right.
Is he holding his own heart?
I think it's going to be someone else's heart because he's got all their intestines. Let me bring the brightness a little bit. There we go. He's got all the gore on his.
Oh shit! There. I didn't see that part before. That's incredible.
Yeah, I added that later. Actually, like a stomach and intestines coming off, and it's all looping around his forearms. So he just shredded somebody. So
brilliant.
And you should expand the drawing and have him holding it over a campfire. Like
it's actually a good idea. It's a horizontal shot. Maybe I'll switch it to a vertical. He'll have his foot up on a rock, just kind of leaning forward, like his elbows resting on his leg, cooking over the fire.
It's a great idea.
It's kill stab barbecue.
Yeah. Cooking. Yeah, barbecuing with Kill Snap next on the Food Network.
Kill Snap, that's his name. Damn it. I was always so bad about that. And I got used to it at the Wildstorm days too, because there was always some new damn character that they didn't know, be like half developed that they're throwing out. I don't know. Yeah. It's on the page. Ink it.
Yep. He should wear his heart like a necklace. Bling bling in this one. Yeah. That'll be next. He takes a chunk out of it to make the hole so he can run a string through it to wear as a necklace. So,
right on. Very cool.
But yeah, cool guys. Well, thanks for hanging out. And, streaming again. This was fun.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, man. Take it easy.
All right,
see
cool.
you guys later.
Yeah, catch y'all later. Thanks everyone in chat. See ya.
Yep. Thanks, guys.